All right. I hope everything is working. Dear God, please be working. I've had enough troubles with this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and good night. Um,
Cool bedtime.
bedtime.
About the normal length of our games, right?
Right. Hey.
Jeff
Uh,
promised we stream. He didn't promise for how long.
that's right. Right. Game over. All right. Good game. 5 points for everybody.
Sweet.
It's the last session though, so. I'm your host,
False.
as always, Dr. RPG Jeff Harvey. This is Star Trek Europa, and this is part 2 of our episode that we started last. It was now 2 weeks ago, at least for us. Some of you streaming this will not have been 2 weeks ago, but whatever, that's good. This episode is called A Deep Hatred, part 2. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. We've done this a million times, but we'll do it probably a million more. Evelyn, go ahead.
I'm Evelyn Corbin. I play Dr. Desave Onayet. That's all I got.
All right. Brian.
I'm Brian. I am playing Dr. or Captain Jorad Hayes, Captain of the Europa.
Dr. Hage, downgrade and side grade.
It's an honorary degree.
Go ahead.
It's not a right degree. Doctor in boat buildingology.
Jack, go ahead.
Yes, hello, I am Jack. I play Commander Irani Ambrose, as well as plenty of other side characters, as we all do. And I actually do other stuff that I can tell you about. I have my own channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension, where I do various Let's Plays and Hangout sessions throughout the week. But the big draw is our Dungeons and Dragons game every Saturday at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. We are just at the climax of our current sort of chapter we're doing, going through a really fun dungeon crawl. So if you're interested in some fantasy to go along with the sci-fi we have here, come check me out.
Cool.
I pimped your group the other day.
Oh, thank
Somebody
you.
was looking for another D&D feed, and the D&D meme page I'm in, I'm like, hey, I know one.
Nice. That's always appreciated.
Cool.
It's the best way to grow a channel. Just telling people.
Legit.
Right. So on a quick recap, let's go ahead and do since we're probably going to start not in a place where we can do a recap unless somebody had one they wanted to do. Let's go ahead and do a quick recap. What do you got, Evelyn, for notes? None.
Right. No, pretty much. It's been the longest day, and I worked an extra 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have a whole lot of time, but we discovered that the Klingons that are weird and modified have possibly Iconian tech and some maybe Romulan tech and some Borg tech and some tech that we know exists, but Starfleet won't touch because it's kind of squishy on the moral side of things. Tong got startled awake by Eva because she'd found some weird anomalous signal in the logs, and so she wanted him to track it down before she went and bothered the higher ups. Which I don't believe we had gotten to a resolution on that yet. Ambrose commended Cherka for her initiative in refining the sensors. Invited her on the team scanning for the Klingons in the Denasian system. When we got to the system, several Federation ships were in the area. The report from the Copernicus that there was an outbreak. Weren't really sure what was causing the spread, but lots of villages were quarantined. A Klingon ship, the IKS Wrath, had been seen a few days ago. It's a newer ship that is associated with Varnak. We had contact from the Klingon, or they had contact from the Klingon ship. Morjad, who is one of the sons of Martok, threatened the Copernicus but didn't fire on them, told them to leave. They detected several Klingons transporting into the Northern Hemisphere, so we decided wisely that we were going to also transport down into the Northern Hemisphere. The team I have going to the planet is Desavi, Define, Ambrose, and Chirka. Is that right?
So
Define come with us?
yes, Define and Dasavi went to the towns. To alleviate
That's
the
right.
medical
That's right.
crisis.
Not to the Klingons.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I started to make that note and then got distracted.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have anything they want to add?
Are we sure we don't get one of Evie's characters in with the cave away team? Because it looks like things are going to go down here. Might be good to retcon one of them being here.
The only character it would make sense to send is Mills, and she's already working on. I suppose really we could hand that over to Koba. She had set up containment fields with Borg quarantine protocols on the brig because Hage wanted the Klingons transported straight up to the brig.
Well,
Yeah.
then I think Mills was assigned for defending the ship in case it
Yeah.
was under attack, or if she needed to step onto tactical in case of a ship combat or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I just thought.
I'm
might
fine
be
either way.
Okay. So
I
down.
noted in the chat, but I also wanted to note for our audience that we landed on the line. Chirka had asked permission to be terrified, and Ambrose said no. Permission denied. Keep your shit together. And we went to black.
Okay. Did anybody have a scene they want to start out with? If not, I have one.
No, nothing in mind.
Negative.
Okay. So, Tong. Let me get there real quick.
Damn
Mr. Tong.
it. Mr. Tom.
You have been tracking down the anomalous reading that you have come to the realization was or appeared to anyways, be some sort of transmission from the ship to an unknown location. It appeared to you that the transmission had been sent from one of the decks where I think it was deck 1, I think, as we decided.
Mhm.
And near
A replicator in Deck 1 Lounge.
correct. It was one of the hall lounges, specifically, not one of the actual, not the. It was in a corridor lounge, not the main lounge.
Mhm.
So, remember that there's a corridor lounge, just like that. Shared. All right. Brian, you're not logged into Fantasy Grounds at the moment. So, with that in mind, you were digging around. I don't remember if we'd gotten much farther than that. Because it's been 2 weeks and I didn't take notes on that because I suck. So,
let's see. Yeah, found the signal was pushed through the replicator system.
right.
Or I was trying to go through the replicator system, comparing the patterns to transporter like signals and transmission like signals, because the replicator uses both.
Right.
Even noted no sign that anybody was in the location at the time, but we did determine it came from a specific lounge replicator.
Right.
That's what I got so far.
Okay. So you're digging through the log files that you've got, and you're digging. You're taking apart the replicator system and getting deep into there and like level 1 diagnostic type stuff, getting in there and really moving around. And there appears to be a small device, approximately the size of a baseball, with 8 little tubes coming off of it. And all 8 of the tubes are plugged into various subsystems on the replicator system. Like, it's bypassing certain things. It's using the power draw from that. It's a fancy dandy little piece of machinery that the technology appears to actually be quite unique. You can go ahead and give me an engineering roll if you'd like to get more
Okay.
information out of that, and I'll let you ask some questions. So that would be insight or reason and engineering.
All right. Insight, engineering. Let's see. Where is my information on Tong? Would my focus in transporters and replicators come into play here, or is this kind of bypassing that
Yeah,
speciality?
I'll allow
Okay.
it.
Is there a difficulty complication range you can give me?
Difficulty is going to be 2, no complication range. Well, I
Okay.
mean, the normal complication range.
Sure. Yeah, we'll just go with this.
11 and a 5 for 3 successes. Well done, Tong. So the first thing you're going to get just outright is that the technology appears to be Vulcan in origin. You may ask additional questions if you wish. You have one question for sure, but if you have questions that should make sense to be able to ask, that you should know, go ahead and ask them, and I'll throw them in there too. Because I didn't really tell you what the thing did.
Yeah, I mean, is that a question I can ask? What does the thing do?
So the different...
Is that too broad?
It's a little broad, but that's why,
Okay.
Anyway, it's fine. So it's definitely drawing in power, and it's masking the energy movement. So it is essentially kind of a rewiring of the system to provide power in a hidden way. It's a subterfuging device, basically.
Mhm.
So it also probably has some programming in it that you wouldn't be able to get from right here, but it does additional things that without breaking it down in the lab, you won't be able to know.
Right. I don't know if this counts as a question, but would Tong be able to figure out how to safely remove it?
Yes, no problem. Pretty
Okay.
easy.
Then I will spend a momentum because it looks like we have maximum to ask more questions. I believe that's how that works.
Sure. You still have one question that you can go ahead and ask.
Okay.
The broad question of what does it do is not really a question.
Okay. Yes, it looks like it's drawing power in from someplace and creating a sort of buffer system to mask that. Does it look like it's relaying information anywhere?
Yes, it would shunt information that was beamed to it into the into the replicator system, and then it appears to change it from essential transporter data to almost a broadcast transmission. So it works like it's basically setting up the replicator to work like a transmitter for data, a transporter for data.
Okay.
And it receives data itself.
Okay.
That's your one question.
So then I spend momentum to ask another one, right?
All right. Yep.
Okay. Can I figure out where it is sending that transmission data to determine, how it's actually transmitting? The signal has to be coming from some sort of dish or array or something.
Right. On the ship, you mean?
On the ship, yeah.
Yeah.
Physical hardware.
It is using the transporter array.
But
the transporter signal array. So the transporters have to use an
Okay.
array of their own. So it is using the same
yeah.
arrays system that the transporters themselves would be using.
It's using the transporter array to broadcast its transmission and receive transmissions.
Does not appear to be receiving transmissions. Only.
I thought you said the machine was receiving information.
The little machine that you have, the little baseball machine, is receiving transmissions from somewhere else. It receives transmissions to itself, probably from within the ship. Something has to be relatively close to it.
Okay.
It is a receiver that is then transmitting the data out of the ship on the transporter signal.
Okay, gotcha. That will be good enough for me. Tong will just then go about taking this thing off and getting it to a lab.
Okay. With that, we'll go ahead and run our intro.
cyberpunk.
Yes. Yeah. All right, we are back. So down in the mines, well, they're not the mines, but down in the, for lack of a better term, dungeon. Chirka and Ambrose and a number of yellow shirts. I think you guys had 4 you took down.
Yeah.
You are in what appeared to be a cave system that was hewn by transporters earlier. Just off to the one side, there appears to be the odd constructed rooms with the alien technology that you had seen. Way off in the distance, you can hear the sound of voices. They're muffled. It's hard to tell what they are saying or anything like that. Like it's just noise to where you are standing. But it's maybe 100 yards or so in front of you, down corridors and whatnot. They definitely sound to be Klingon of nature. There are also the sounds of tools, power tools and whatnot working. So, what do you guys want to do?
Do the voices seem alerted to our presence?
They do not.
Mm.
They are clearly yelling at each other, or at least yelling in the same vicinity as each other. Largely, it sounds like they're yelling over the sounds of the tools.
I don't think they've seen us, Commander. Maybe we should be quiet.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't seem they are alerted to our presence. We should use this time to see what we can find out. That machine over there, you think you could get some information off of it?
I can look for. Yeah, I think I can. So she'll go over and she'll start like trying to take off panels, trying to figure out what makes this thing tick.
Okay. Easy to get the panels off. When you first open up the thing, there's definitely a mixture of technology in here. I shouldn't say mixture. It is a confusing array of technology in here. It is very old, and there are some slightly newer components. And well, I mean, there are some newer components that are obviously replaced by the Klingons. Go ahead and give me a engineering roll, and we'll let you get some tinkering around in there.
I'll go ahead and use a moment.
Okay. 8, 15, and 4. I assume that's 3 successes.
Yeah.
Difficulty was 2. Tinker around in there. So.
Okay. But just so I'm clear, does system maintenance count as a focus?
I would say no.
Okay.
Not in this case.
All right. Then in that case, it's just 2.
Okay. No, it'd still be 3, wouldn't it? Or no. Yeah, it'd be 3, wouldn't it?
No, because if the focus doesn't apply, they're each just 1 success.
Oh, the 15. I thought 15 was your goal. So
no. Her highest ability is 14.
I got you. Okay. So that's success. What exactly are you trying to do? Just get some information as to what's going on in here?
Yeah, I'm trying to determine what this device does, who made it, that kind of stuff.
Doesn't take long for you to determine this is probably Iconian technology. As to what it's doing, the console that you're currently looking at appears to be the life support system.
Well, this is just keeping air in the tunnel, but I would guess maybe the more sensitive tech is down with the Klingons.
Okay, I thought last week we played, I thought we determined it was the transporter. I could be mistaken.
There was a transporter system in there. Well, no. I don't remember how that worked out. But the machine she just looked at is the life support and basic power systems.
Jackie is right, though. The note I have is the tech appears to be some sort of control center, energy consummate with transport systems of some sort.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had that. Yes. So, okay.
But
Because
that's a different
if it is a
machine.
transporter, I have a plan. If it's not a transporter, then
The room you're
I'll
in is not a
plan.
transporter. The facility was a transport facility, is what you got. The
okay.
It should have been that
Okay.
the main power systems in the building are running towards the transport system, and that's what the facility seems to be appears to have been built for. I mean, it's not complicated to figure out what that means, but
Are you using transport with a capital T or a lowercase t? Is it transporters or is it?
It is not transporters. It is a transport facility, as in there's some kind of. It's probably a gateway.
Gotcha.
For
Oh, okay. So we think that there's a gateway in here.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of gate system here.
Commander, I've got
Okay.
bad news and really bad news.
All right. Good news first.
Well, I haven't run screaming from the cave yet. That's the good news. The bad news, though, is that there's an Iconian gateway.
I figured that was a possibility. Is that the bad news or the really bad news?
I can't think of much worse news, Commander.
That's fair. Perhaps this whole installation is trying to specifically uncover it. Purely speculation at this point. Can you tell if these systems tie into anything else that you might be able to get some more concrete information from? Sensors, map of the area?
I think I've gotten about
Life
all the
support system.
information I can from here. Unless Jeff, can I do another roll? I don't know.
So you would be able to get a basic readout of the floor plan from the life support system. Yes.
Okay. Do I need to?
No, there's no
for that,
roll.
or-
You can just do that.
All right. Yeah, I've downloaded a floor plan. I think maybe we have to go this way.
And what leads you to this conclusion?
And she'll bring up a tricorder. She'll point out the shafts and hallways that lead, since she's got a map, or at least a basic map, and she'll point out the directions.
Yeah, with the map, it's pretty clear to see what the most important area of the building is.
Yeah.
Okay. So remind me, did we have a specific mission we were on, a specific objective? I
Determine what the Borg were doing.
Acquire the
what they're
Klingons.
doing. Yeah,
I keep
just what
saying-
they're doing.
Keep saying
Yeah,
Borg, but
we were gonna take these Klingons prisoner.
that was the hope for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that was ever Ambrose's hope, but sure, okay.
No, that was what Captain wanted.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll roll with it.
Yeah, because he was going to beam them all up into the transporter,
Right.
and lock them
Right.
up after that. So
Okay, let's proceed cautiously. These are heavily augmented beings that might be able to sense us coming.
all right, gonna head into the facility then.
Yeah.
All right, you move through the facility. I'm assuming quietly, or at least in an attempt to be
Mhm.
quiet. It's not very difficult because there are power tools and screaming Klingons. Not screaming, but yelling Klingons. Slightly different from screaming. Did you have what? I'm trying to think what your augments were. You didn't have an actual augment ability, did you, Ambrose? You didn't have like improved hearing or vision, anything like that, right?
No.
Okay. In that case, your sense of
I have empathy,
Yes.
so I can kind of use that as like an empathetic sonar, I suppose.
a little bit. You get the distinct impression that in the tunnel there are a number of Klingons. I think I decided there were 8 last time. However, after several minutes, a couple of them seem to leave, just immediately disappear, which indicates they probably transported out.
Mhm.
So, with that, we will jump back over to the city. While you guys walk a little farther. And I've got Define
Mhm.
and Desavi. The two of you are in the city. It's a fairly bright day actually. There's a lot of Starfleet shuttlecraft, relatively speaking, flying in and out. They're bringing in medical supplies, a lot of which are too delicate for transport. It's a mutagenic virus, so you don't want to
Right.
do too many beamings, as it can break down. There's the potential for breakdown of delicate DNA strands and that kind of thing. So, in some ways, it is replication. So anyway, there are several buildings set up that are being used as quarantine facilities and triage centers and that kind of thing. There's a definitive panic in the city. It's a very it's an underlying current of panic in the city, in that there is so many people that are ill and becoming more ill, and the resources are quickly draining. That sort of panic. There's also a large morgue that has been set up, depending on what you'd like to start with, or the admin buildings, or really anyone or anything you're looking to do.
So can Delphine start organizing the medical area?
Sure.
And separating the sick from the healthy and getting people to calm down. I have the bedside manner talent, which lets me, when the character succeeds at a medicine task to heal another injury, the character may remove a personal complication from the patient. So I'm assuming that some of them are sick, and I would like to get them all to calm down a bit.
Yeah, you can start working on some of that. You're not the first ship to respond here, but you can definitely work on helping out with that process for sure. So go ahead and give me a roll. And are you doing just like in general, or are you going to one of the facilities to try to get people to calm, to get things under control?
Can I organize multiple facilities from here? Like start coordinating in that?
You'd probably need someone to contact. You could, yes. Yeah.
Okay,
we don't need to role play through going through and getting all the contact information and stuff like that. So
that's what I was thinking. I would contact the right people and
right.
Start getting things organized in a efficient Starfleet manner.
Right.
I would like to spend another momentum. That is 4 successes. 3 successes. Sorry.
7 and 2 for 5, I assume.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you get that momentum back. You definitely start getting things, get the logistics moving and start getting people under, at least in the in the general vicinity, are starting to feel more secure that Starfleet is taking this more seriously, and now that Europa has arrived, that there's a greater level of resource involved. So
okay, great. Well, now that I've prepared a more hospitable healing area, I'll leave the miracle working to Dr. DeSavi.
What would you like to do, DeSavi?
I am going to go report in to whomever is leading this dog and pony show.
Okay.
And find out where our greatest area of need is.
Okay. You arrive at the main triage complex, where you're seeing a lot of. There's probably a couple hundred patients in the area, in the building. It's obviously a reused, some sort of like sporting arena, probably Parisi Squares or something like that. And there are just beds and beds and beds, and the large tarped off areas where, like exam areas, that kind of thing. And then there are shuttlecraft that are coming in and out, like ambulance bays. When you get in, you're pointed, you're asking around, and you're pointed to, what, I had the name, hang on. Dr. Iran. Can't figure out where my note went. There it is. Dr. Iran. He is the head doctor for the area, for the facility, and really the one controlling the city's response. Iran Torath. 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 Iran Torath. He is a Devonian. Or Dionysian, sorry. Which is the planet you're on.
Yeah.
He's working through a log of case files, like going through and noting them and entering like data from a various number of pads he has to rub out into a single pad, trying to make sure that he has the data. I mean, you've done it before. It's clearly
Yeah.
like triage tracking. It's
Right.
simple stuff. So
Give a moment until he hits a good breaking point, and then clear my throat.
oh, doctor, forgive me, I didn't see you there.
No worries.
Are you from the Europa?
Yes, Dr. DeSavio Nayet, my chief of nursing, is seeing to people and helping to calm some of the atmosphere here. Where do you need me?
That depends on if you can replicate yourself. I need about 400 more doctors.
That technology is a little beyond us, but the
Shame.
Klingons might be working on it.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Encouraging is a word.
The mutagenic virus, from what I can tell, does not leave a lot of room for doctoring. This is the triage center, and he picks up his one pad and starts walking you around and pointing things out to you. We are able to handle around 150 cases at any given time here. I believe there are about 230 here at the moment. The idea behind our triage is to simply see what state of the mutagenic, of the mutation, I suppose, the agent has applied to the individual. If they're in stage 1, they are mostly fine, and we will watch them to see if there's anything. As rapidly as it changes will come on, and by the time they reach stage 4, they are almost entirely in cellular compromise and internal necrosis. The virus is attempting, from what I can tell, to rewrite their DNA, but the majority of the Dionysian peoples here on this planet are incompatible.
Who is compatible?
There are a handful that we have found, about a dozen or so, who appear to have some sort of markers in their DNA that prevents that is the mutagenic agent binds to, and appears to be successful in its mutations. I can't tell for certain what the mutation actually does, other than some minor genetic appearances, some strength increases. They are clearly healthier once the mutagen runs its course. But again, I've only seen about a dozen cases planet-wide so far.
Any pattern in species, race, family history, past illnesses?
Honestly, Doctor, I would love to check all those things, but I simply have been overwhelmed. It's something that if you have the resources, we would certainly... That would be the next logical step in research.
Well, of the 6, who are they?
He flitters around on his little pad and hands you a data isolinear data chip. There's the information that we have, along with the information that we have on the 4 stages.
I'll start combing through that.
Any help you can offer, Doctor, is appreciated. And barring any of that, there is always a hypo spray available. And he points to the triage people. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to finish compiling this data. If you have any questions, Doctor, please don't hesitate.
I presume we have a research team working on some sort of cure or inoculation.
We're working as best we can, but I'm extremely limited in resources. This agent spread to most of my colleagues as well. So there is a diminishing return or a diminishing available resource.
Hmm.
Starfleet has offered additional use of their computers. However, majority of the ships that are here are using the majority of their resources for replication of various medications.
Well, luckily, Eva is a genius among computers.
I suspect that is at least a part of the reason why the Europa was sent here.
Hmm.
Again, if you'll excuse me, Doctor.
Certainly. Do we still have a piece of Eva on the yacht, or has that been resolved?
That was resolved. Although
Okay.
technically she's already there because the yacht
Right.
links. As long as there's a link that you can reach through subspace communications, Eva can be in both places.
Okay.
We could have
Go ahead.
we could have Jissa take the yacht down so that way she could join this scene.
It's up to you guys.
Fine by me.
I mean, that's on the doctor's order.
Yeah.
Well,
I believe the plan was Jissa and her flight team was standing by just in case there was starship combat and we needed to scramble the fighters. But I mean, that's up to you guys if you want to change the plan.
no, I
Not
think
that it
that
was
I think
not that it was
make-
a strict plan anyway. So I mean, she'll
Right.
ferry a yacht down if it will help. If you want to use it as like a mobile research site, she's all for that. You just need to
No,
give
I think we need the yacht down, but I think having our ace pilot bring it down is kind of foolish when we've got a bunch of Klingons in the mix.
yeah, you could send any old
Yeah.
pilot to take the yacht down.
So I'll come up to the captain. Captain, I have need of Eva's brain. Could you spare the yacht?
Consider it done. I'll send somebody down.
Thank you.
What's the status down there?
Everyone's dying. It's a matter of when.
That's awful.
Indeed.
Do you think that the Klingons we found in the cave might be involved?
The timing is convenient. I'm withholding judgment, but the timing is a little convenient. I have Dr. Torres notes. I'm going to be poring over them. It would seem this virus is overwriting, or the goal of the virus is to overwrite DNA. Unfortunately, the Dionysians are not compatible, so it's just blowing through them. A handful of people, he said he's seen about 6 survive, and those that survive are stronger, they're healthier. I suspect a lot like the Klingons that we have in deep freeze on the ship.
I see. Well, if you do find any evidence that the Klingons are involved, do let me know because it may affect our other team.
I wonder, and this is pure speculation at this point, I haven't had a chance to really dig into anything, but I wonder if the Klingons are at fault accidentally.
You think they may have spread it? They may have the disease and spread it themselves.
Exactly.
An interesting thought.
But we'll see what the research has to say.
Yes, of course. Let me know. Keep me posted.
Will do.
Okay. Gonna start digging into that then?
Yep.
All right. Give me a medical roll. Let's say... Where's Dasavi at here? Dasavi. Let's go ahead and say reason. I would also allow daring if you really wanted to push the boundaries of what you're allowed to do. And medicine or science.
Let's go reason for now.
Virology, infectious disease, or xenobiology would apply.
Okay.
Does the calm and orderly environment provide an advantage?
It would actually negate the disadvantage from earlier.
Well, I'll take it.
That was very loud.
Oh, terrible roll.
Terrible roll. It's one success, though.
Okay. It's going to take you quite a while to go through this data. It's a lot of overwhelming information. with that, I'm going to say you get the basic information. You get to see his, what he's got written there. You get the 6 names. Where
Okay.
do you want to start with your comparison of the 6?
The first thing I want to know is what species are they?
They're all Dionysian.
Oh.
That's clear.
Okay. That's why he couldn't give me a proper answer.
That you don't even need to roll your thing for. But if you want to, where do you want to, beyond that, where do you want to start? You want to get deep into their DNA and RNA sequencing? Do you want to get into their genealogy? Do you want to get into any past medical history? Similarities as far as like training, education, life experience?
The phenol suggests, since it seems to be genetic, maybe look for recessive genetic markers.
Yeah, I think starting with genetics first, and then from there, past medical history.
Okay.
And then I think third on that is going to be similar life experiences, work exposure, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, typical stuff. But you're gonna start with the gene. You're gonna start with the genes.
Yeah.
Genetic markers and whatnot. All right. I am gonna have the two of you do an extended task. Whichever one he wants to lead can lead. I assume that would be Dasavi.
Yeah, I'll take lead on that.
Difficulty is 2. Your work is only going to be 8. Resistance is 2. Magnitude is 2. Okay. So not super difficult.
No. Focus is still apply.
Focus still apply, and your time interval is going to be 6 hours.
Okay. A little bit better. Nope, that was kind of a little bit better. That's 2 and a complication.
I assist.
And that's successful assist, I assume.
Yep.
All right. So difficulty was 2. You've got 3.
3.
Which is...
Does the ship get to help?
That's true.
Ouch. Yes, because you brought Eva down, Eva actually gets to help. So you get full Eva whatevers, which means that she's got advantage on 5 and under, and she doesn't help at all. She's like, I'm working on it, damn it.
Squishy meat
Well,
suits.
really, I brought Eva down to get her working on a cure.
Gotcha. Well, you have to identify a path before you can do that.
Right.
So, she is working on other information. That's why she could only help out over here and didn't help you very much, because she can multitask, do both. Your resistance is 2, so you have 1 success. I'm sorry, that resistance applies to work. So go ahead and give me your little dice roll there, the 6-sided die.
Yeah.
5 total with 2 effects. -2. You do have the 1 momentum you can spend to reduce resistance if you want.
Yeah, that's a 2-for-1 special there.
Yep. So you've got 5, which gives you a magnitude. And 2 of the effects don't matter in this situation. All right, so you're making progress. You're clearly making good progress. The complication is going to come into play. I'm going to use that. I'm going to take that momentum or threat because I'm going to use it on the next roll. So it's going to complicate your future roll.
Okay.
In fact, I'll just tell you what it's going to do now. I'm going to up the resistance by 1 for the next single roll.
Okay.
All right.
So it'll be a
30.
resistance of
Ooh.
3?
Yeah, it'll be resistance of 3, not 30. I typed 30 for a second there. All right, so the next 6 hours, you guys are doing that. You're montaging with light beams and test tubes and whatnot, which brings us back. What's that?
Science.
Science. Which brings us back to the more immediate threats, which is Arani and Chirka. Tong is, I'm assuming, in the lab doing things, which we'll get back to him shortly also. All right, so you guys, one of you, no, I'm not going to make you do that. I was going to say give me a sneak in roll, but it doesn't. It's unnecessary. What is your plan currently? You can quit pretty quickly. It's not a huge facility. It's probably only like the size of a small office space, like a small office building, I should say. You can come upon the Klingons fairly quickly. They are around a corner. When you go in, there's a long hallway, and then there are several doors along the hallway. But when you get to the end of the hallway, or you can see the end of the hallway, it takes a sharp left turn, which is where the sound appears to be coming from.
I remember I asked the doctor at some point to look into ways of disabling the Klingons' technology, but I don't remember if we actually ever got anywhere with that.
You had not yet found
Okay.
a means. She was working on, I think she actually got you a hypo spray or something that would possibly work, but it wasn't like a ranged. I don't know that we got very far on that, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Certainly, if you could get within touch range, you could use a powerful sedative, which the doctor would have certainly been able to give you.
Okay.
Like
can we determine
Kogas.
ketamine, Kogas?
Like ketamine.
we determine how many are still here? There were 8, some left.
Yes. You focus a little bit. You can focus on their individual the individual emotions of the people that are there, and you get that there are 6 remaining. So 2 have left.
And they're all just down the corner?
Pretty much, yep.
Okay.
The room that getting a basic sense of direction from there, the room feels fairly large. They are spread out, but you can hear for the most part that they're roughly in the same area, they're roughly in the same area.
And that's where the sound of various tools and
correct, yeah,
construction is going on. Okay.
That room may be, mechanically speaking, several zones large, but it is pretty much one room.
Can I offer momentum to say that the room is unsound since they're working on it?
What do you mean unsound?
Like it could collapse at any moment with a little provocation.
That's not the kind of work they're doing.
Okay.
I like where your head's at, but it's not the kind of work they're doing. It wouldn't apply. The work when you go in the room, you'll see the kind of work they're doing.
I mean, this is an ancient ruin. So
that's true. It could be unstable for other reasons, but probably not the work they're doing.
Sure, but I'll take what I can get.
Sure.
We haven't found any other terminals where we could access information from.
Without going into the other rooms, there's none that are obvious. You've got the main room where you're at. So the basic layout, and again, I was trying to find a map for this. I couldn't find one. The basic layout is you've got the area that was the beamed out, carved out rock. From there, you had a small room that had councils, which it was pretty limited there. You had your power station council. You had your life support council, and that was more or less what was in that room. Some other minor things like library councils that are no longer functional, that kind of thing, like a minor command station. And then you had the hallway that goes forward, and then to the left. Down the hallway, there were several doors. There were 2 doors in each side of the hallway. The hallway goes down and then turns sharply to the left, and whatever is there is there. There is probably another door. There would have to be another door on the end of the hallway as well. Like almost straight ahead, maybe slightly off to the side. To create some symmetry.
How doable would just bypassing them be?
Depends on where you want to get to. Like past them, where you're at. If you wanted to go past them, you could go in one of the other doors, like the doors in the hallway and around. But all that would really take you to is like probably the power system, the actual power system. The room they're in is most likely the gate room.
Okay, so
judging by the layout that you have.
Commander, I think this is the gate room. I don't see another way around.
You could come up behind them if you went into the engineering room and whatnot, the power room. So you come at them from 2 sides if you wanted to.
Okay.
If you wanted to catch them in a crossfire kind of thing.
I can try bringing down some of the ruins.
You did say there were other rooms off of this corridor, right? And if I can't sense anybody in them, we should check them out and see what's inside.
Sure. So you're gonna go to one of the sub rooms. Okay. Doesn't take much to. The doors are easy to open, barely an inconvenience. um, super easy, barely an inconvenience. The door opens, slides. What you find in there, the first room appears to largely be living quarters. They are not. They're humanoid living quarters, but they're certainly not modern by any standard. There's nothing really in here other than what look like bunks and storage facilities, like storage things. It's been ransacked pretty thoroughly by probably Klingons. Not much for the first room. The second room, though, you do find. Well, I should say as you go through the rooms, you find like a storage. You find the living quarters. You find like an eating area. You find the basic mundane things you would need to have this be a base that functioned. And last, one of the ones you come across though appears to be a room with cryogenic pods in it. The pods, however, have been shattered. There are corpses inside that have been fairly rotted away, as if they had been ruptured quite some time ago.
The doctor will want to see this, but it's not either of our specialties, I believe. We should mark it and leave it.
I mean, I could fix the pods, but it's too late for these people.
Yeah, right. We'll worry about that later. I suppose if there's nothing else in here that can help us determine what we're doing or what they're doing.
Yeah, I would like to search around for any data pads, maybe Klingon data pads or any records that I could find.
Okay. I like that idea. Go give me a. Where's Chirk at here? Let's see. Give me an insight and security roll, Chirka. Super good roll for you there.
Alright.
Difficulty will be 1.
You said security?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not broaden your horizons? Oh, nice.
Hey.
All right.
Look at that.
I'll say you do find a pad. It is, however, locked when you find it. It wouldn't be hard for you to unlock it, being Chirka. It is a Klingon data pad from the IKS Wrath.
Do I have time to take a quick look at it, or should I just stow it away for later?
You can take a look at it now if you want to.
All right, I would like to take a look at it now.
Assuming that Ambrose says you have time to do it. It's on him.
I think she'll do it without waiting to see if that's okay with Ambrose.
That was my plan anyway. Look for information.
Right. Give me control and security or engineering. The difficulty for engineering will be 1 higher, so difficulty will be 2. 1 for security, 2 for engineering.
Okay. Does my research focus apply on this?
No, at this point you're cracking the encryption.
All right. Well, I'll use momentum.
Okay.
No, it's 1 success.
Okay. I assume you're using engineering.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes you a little longer to do, but you're going through it and you're hitting the buttons and it's beeping on you, and like you keep hearing that rejection beep from devices, and eventually the screen pops up with you've failed to log into your iPhone 11 times. If it 12 times, it's going to delete. But after another minute or so, do you speak Klingon by chance?
No.
Okay. After a second or after a lucky moment, you manage to get it open, but it comes really close to not opening. I was just hoping to see you guys would get some extra momentum on that one. The only information you can get though at the moment is that the pad belongs to a person named Dr. Gothmara.
Okay. Well, I'll pocket it for later.
Okay. What are you guys going to do next? That took you quite a while to find and then dig through to crack the encryption. So
Sure. I will look to Ambrose.
you can hear the workers down the hallway. They're clearly beginning to finish up the work they were doing.
Right. Now, if I remember correctly, stun setting didn't work on these augmented Klingons.
That is what you were told by the crew of the other ship, which I can't remember the name of right now, the Breckenridge.
Yeah. Ambrose. I mean, unless, and I don't remember. So Brian, do tell me. But unless Hage specifically gave Ambrose the command to capture them, Ambrose was always under the intention that he was going to have to kill these Klingons to stop them.
He would leave that to Ambrose's discretion.
Okay.
Your mission was A, to investigate what was going on, B, capture the Klingons if possible, C, stop them from doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Accomplishing as you see fit.
Okay, so we have a map of this facility, and you said we could go through the sort of engineering power station to flank them, right?
Sure.
I would like to devise a battle strategy with my team dynamics focus, and so we have a real quick like breach and clear from both sides playbook on how to take out and neutralize these Klingons as quickly as possible. And I don't know if this is really going to work without combat plays in this game, but my idea is just quick breach and clear. We go in, we have a clear plan of what we're going to do. We take down all 6 of them before they have any time to react. But my plan is for Ambrose to run into the closest one, get him with the hypo spray, use him as a body shield if necessary, and then him and Cherka like rapid fire take out all of the other ones. But I'm not sure the system works that way.
I think how it would work mechanically is we do a preparation. We do a security roll to prepare. That gives us advantage on our attacks. Hopefully the attack's enough to win.
Right. Technically speaking, there is probably no like definitive way to do what you're talking about doing.
Okay.
But Brian is correct in that you can gain an advantage to your actions based on making the plan of attack. And we can narrate a lot. It's like I have no problem narrating some of that. Like one of the things that we were doing in the playtest rules or my rules is that you can up the damage on the weaponry to try to make the combats faster by setting the weapon to a higher damage setting, essentially. So it's certainly possible.
Oh, yeah. Knowing that these Klingons aren't susceptible to stun, Ambrose has his type 3 on the highest setting. Well, highest setting necessary to kill a humanoid. We're not going to vaporize the whole chamber, but...
Right, because, yeah, like meters of rock.
Right.
So...
but you know what? Actually, let's head to the engineering department first to see if we can find any power terminals we can explode or something to help us with all this. That's the general plan, but...
Do you want to leave some of your security guys here to come in from this side, or do you want to, how do you want to divide your forces, or do you want everyone to go into the engineering room and around?
I think that's a good idea. Out of character.
Dividing the forces?
Yeah,
I would agree. Yeah, I would say since we have 4, it would be me and 1 and Cherka and the other 3.
I think it's narratively more interesting if it's them on one side and us 2 on the other one. But I'm okay.
Cherka would also probably be the best bet to go into the engineering room with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it'll be me and Cherka go around to the other side, and then the 4 yellow shirts can do their own thing on the side.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I was trying to think if I wanted to change something but I don't. Okay, we're good. So you guys head into the engineering room. Give me both of you give me a daring and security roll. Difficulty is 1. This is just to go past because you have to go past the hallway to get to that little room. I just want to make sure you don't get seen. One success is all you need.
I have a focus on escape and avoidance.
Sure.
Can I use that to like help Cherka too?
Um,
Is there like a group? I know some systems have a group roll, or do we both have to roll individually? Or
I'm not sure there is. So the way group rolls work in this is that you would use
They
you
do.
just basically just roll again, right? It's like so it's you'd roll 2 and she'd roll 1 and you get the bonus that way. But that's
Well,
to complete a task.
They have an example of this in the starting adventure, where one person completes the role for the party, basically.
Right.
yeah, I thought this game had something like that.
It would. Honestly, though, because this is the one thing about sneak rolls and stuff that I'm not always 100% sure I like in other games, but it should be the person with the least capable person should make the roll. However, I would say that your escape and avoidance focus would apply to Chirka's roll.
Okay. Yeah, but between escape and avoidance and team dynamics, I feel like Ambrose would clearly be able to just guide Cherka through this.
Right. But we'll have Chirka make the roll. Difficulty is 1, and you have a focus.
So are we both making the roll or just Cherka because she's the least?
We'll just have Chirka make the roll since she's the least capable in this situation.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to spend momentum.
Yeah, go for it.
You know what? I'm going to spend another momentum and give you a threat to roll another dice.
Okay. So you're rolling 4?
4, yeah.
And I will not change the complication range. Wow. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's 4 successes, right?
You said it. Yes, daring plus security. Yeah, 4 successes.
You only needed 1, so 1, 2,
nice,
and 3. So there you go. Chirka manages to be a super ninja and get across the hallway, and Ambrose just puts on a cloak and disappears and walks past.
I think like as they're sneaking, like Chirka is like looking at Ambrose, and she's a bit impressed by his implacability, and she's like taking a page from his book and like trying to act like him as they sneak, and she's only hyperventilating a little bit.
Ambrose has walked this way, and Chirka just kind of, same thing. Anyway, I always like that walk this way joke. All right, you guys managed to get into the engineering section of the facility. It is a large trying to think of the terminology that I would use, but it's obviously a reactor system of some sort. There is a chain reaction going on inside of the thing. It's it is technology that is Tong and Coaster would love this thing. It's a big reactor. Now it's not really huge. It's a very powerful reactor for its size, but it's probably about the size of a basic living, like a 10 by 10 room.
Sure.
The reactor itself is. The room itself is much larger.
Cherka, can you give me a guesstimate on how devastating it would be if this reactor went critical?
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think 20.
All right. Is there anything important within 20 range?
She'll do some back of the tricorder calculations to try and figure out exactly how dangerous
because this sounds like a perfect contingency plan. Set this to overload, so if we fail or something, it blows up and destroys the gateway. That's Ambrose's plan.
Right. Given the depth that you are, which based on the transporters and everything else, you managed to get down here no problem, and the location of things on the surface as well as tributaries, and it would be a significant, like a Mount St. Helens type of event.
Were there any settlements nearby?
Not within blast range, but probably within fallout range.
Okay.
And it would also, it would change the course of rivers and things like that,
and send all kinds of debris into the atmosphere. Okay, so
right.
Maybe not a sound contingency plan.
Certainly, it would definitely destroy the gate. Like that gate
it would work.
Gone.
But, yeah.
It would definitely work.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that with Starfleet here, they could certainly recover from it, but it would be a newsworthy event.
You know what? No, I am going like this. This goes for my values. The Federation must be preserved. Gateways need to be destroyed. It is Federation dictate that Iconian technology be destroyed if it cannot be, secured.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna call on that value. Chirka, set this thing to overload within 15 minutes. If we're not done by then, we're not gonna be done. And we gotta destroy this facility.
She looks surprised, but she goes, "Oh, okay, okay." And then she quickly
Make sure you can undo it.
sets about it.
All right, give me the roll. I'm raising the threat. I'm spending 4 threat because I think it's the maximum I can spend on this one. Yeah, that should be right? That would make it 15 and up or 16 and up, which is the best I can do. So your difficulty is going to be 2. Yes, we'll just say difficulty is 2. I'll spend 1 more, make difficulty 3. Difficulty is 3. Threat range is 16 and up.
Does calling on that value give us anything?
You can use by using your value. You can.
I can use that to get 2 free successes, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
You can use a determination.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Well, then I can roll, and as long as I get 1. Yeah.
Nice.
Got 2. So.
Okay. And Ambrose is using determination to get the 2, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Which I'm not sure you can technically do as an assistant, but I don't know. I don't see why you shouldn't be able
I
to.
think you can actually. I think
Yeah.
you can.
I don't know if what the rules actually say, but I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to because it just makes sense.
Especially
all right.
as a commanding officer ordering her to do this.
Yeah.
Right. So let me see here. Chirka doesn't have any values currently, correct?
She has a value. She does not have any determination. The support character.
Right.
We discuss this every time you bring that up. If they have value, they have determination.
Yeah, she should have a determination, but it's okay. It doesn't matter at the moment. I was going to see if you had one that I could exploit in the other direction. Better seen that heard, though, does not apply. So you didn't set it up so that you couldn't turn. You set it up to explode to overload in approximately 15 minutes, give or take, a minute.
Or whatever would be an acceptable, reasonable amount of time. I don't know how much you plan for this to go awry, but 15 minutes sounded like a good.
I have no
threshold
idea
for me.
either. Like
Okay.
it's,
If
if
it takes
things
us
go
longer than
badly,
15 minutes to kill 6 Klingons, like we've done something wrong.
right. I mean, it's gonna no matter how long you set it for, it's gonna be like 3 seconds left on the clock when you get in there.
That's true. Yeah.
And it appears as though you have a way to turn it off because you didn't roll in my threat complication range.
Mhm.
So with that, let's go back to Tong while you guys are doing that work.
Great, because I making that call. I am.
Need a minute to breathe. All right. So Tong, you and Eva, I assume you're going to involve Eva, are in the. Let's see. You're in one of the labs. Doesn't really matter which one, really. They're all just labs. We'll say chemistry lab because it's the one I can find. And that's just for a lab. We're not actually in the chemistry lab, but you're in a lab. Right. And you're taking this thing apart carefully, making sure it doesn't explode, scanning it regularly so it doesn't explode. Go ahead and give me a roll with Eva's assistance, which I will roll for. Your difficulty is going to only be 1 because of the advantage of using the lab.
Control engineering.
Control engineering or reason and science, your choices.
No,
whatever you
control engineering.
Yeah, whatever you feel is most appropriate and you can justify. And Eva does assist.
Okay. Difficulty complication.
Difficulty is just 1, normal complication range.
Okay.
I need to make sure for other things.
Yeah. You said difficulty 1 and Eva already assisted?
Yes.
Okay.
So you've got success.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about any kind of bonuses then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only benefit to having more successes at this point would be to ask more questions.
Cool. That's 3 total.
3 total. So you have 2 successes, or 2 above, I should say. So you get the basic information that you get from this thing is it is It is an older type of Vulcan technology, which you are kind of already knew. It was used in ship systems maybe 35, 40 years ago to help maintain redundancy. It has been heavily modified. The modifications do appear to be made using Romulan technology. And it definitely does receive information in from a local source. The receiver on this thing appears to be fairly small and fairly delicate, so it probably doesn't receive from very far away, but again, that depends on the transmitter too. You're guessing probably no more than maybe 3 decks in any direction based on the receiver alone. Again, though, the transmitter might make that. You've got like a 2-deck variable with depending how powerful the transmitter is.
Right. Okay. Can I... Does this store information on it?
It does
Can
not.
Okay, so I can't look for the frequency of the transmission that was coming in and backtrack it.
Well, it would definitely be the receiver would be set to a specific channel, and the
Okay.
transmission would be set to a specific frequency as well. So that information would definitely be there. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you get that. You get both sending and receiving.
Okay.
It is a. I will also add that it is a system. It is a frequency that is not commonly used aboard starships, so it's not something, and it's not something that shows up on the primary sensors. It's a very low frequency transmission.
Okay.
Anything else? You got one more question.
Let's see. I have one more free question, or is that spent?
You have one of your momentums you still have.
Okay, I'd say let's just bank that momentum.
Okay.
But I definitely have things I want to do.
Sure.
So I would like to see if I can create 2 things. One is basically put a bug in this thing so I can reconnect it, and then whenever it's used again, that information is also sent to my end.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if I can create a sort of signal backtrace, so when that transmission is received from that local source, it will ping on my my GPS of the ship, and I can be like, she's right there.
Okay. Yeah, you can probably use Eva to set up a triangulation, because you'd have to have 3 points, right? So you'd have to create this point plus a second point, and then your third point would be the origin, the transmission origin.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Eva could certainly do that. Set the internal sensors up to find this specific frequency if it transmits across ship anywhere.
You know what? Is it too late to use that question?
No, go ahead.
Is there anything that would cause this device to have any sort of catastrophic failure? Will it blow up? Will it erase itself? Will it send a virus into our ship?
It definitely has a kill switch in it, but it doesn't appear to that as it would do any catastrophic failure damage. Like it would just stop functioning on its own, and that would be it.
Okay.
Like it would probably slag its internals. That's about it.
Okay.
It is definitely not intended to destroy any significant portion of the ship in retaliation.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, a bug and a tracer. That's what Tom's doing.
Give me a roll. Give me an engineering and daring, since this is not your technology.
Daring and engineering. Okay, I can do that. I don't think any of my focuses really apply. I don't think so.
I would not think so.
No. Difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 2. Standard difficulty. And Eva will assist.
Okay. That's good enough.
2 successes and Eva, so you have 3. That gives you back 1 momentum.
Nice.
Okay. Gonna update anybody on your findings, or are you good to keep going the way you're going?
No, Tong's just gonna keep doing his thing.
Okay. At some point, Coaster's gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on my ship?" All right. Back to Shirka and Ambrose. The clock is now ticking. For some odd reason, 18 minutes have gone by. No. That was a long scene. No. Time is now ticking on the clock, though. So what are you going to do?
Chirko, can we see if we can use any of the power systems here to create a distraction or create some sort of environmental damage in the room beyond? Can you find any controls, circuits, power systems, whatnot we can overload?
Yeah, let me look into that. I'm sure I can figure out something. I mean, there's always exploding something in the walls.
The
She
rock
says not at all
ballasts.
confident that is the case. Engineering, daring roll.
Engineering and daring, and I'm going to go ahead and say the difficulty is going to be 2 with a complication. And this is, I'm not going to spend points on this complication because of what you guys are doing before. By overloading the system here, you're channeling a lot of energy through things. You run the risk on a complication of 19 or 20 of shortening the amount of time before that thing explodes.
Does my system maintenance focus apply?
I'm gonna say no because you're kind of doing the opposite of maintenance.
Fair, but I do know a lot about system maintenance, and therefore,
That's true. That's true.
If you know how to fix it, you should know how to break
It's
it real
true.
good.
I suppose that's
Maintenancing
fair.
is part of maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You understand where the failure points are. I'll take it. Sure.
all right. Well, didn't even matter anyway. I'm sorry. I meant to say I used a momentum.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, 2 successes.
And nothing in the complication range, so there you go. You succeed. There is an explosion in the other room, and then there is a lot of shouting and
Wait, hold on here. I said set something up, not make it go off right now.
okay.
I want to
I don't know how you'll trigger it. Is the thing? How are you
you
going
can't just tie it to the tricorder and press a button?
Yeah, can I just have it on
Yeah,
remote
I'll
control?
allow it. Yeah, sure.
That sounds Star Trek like.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll
Yeah,
activate it on my turn. I won't be shooting anything anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so this comes back to the plan I wanted to set up. So me and Cherika are on this side. The 4 other guys
Right.
are on the other side. I go in, I catch this guy, I hypo spray him. Cherika blows something, distracts the other Klingons while the yellow shirts quickly take them out, and I wrap up the rest,
Right.
basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Sure. She has it set up so that you believe you can blow something up when you get in there.
Okay,
Not 100% sure what it is or where it is, but yes, something will blow up.
sure.
Look, something will explode. That much I can say for sure.
Hey, if we don't do this right, the whole thing's going to explode, so I'm fine.
All right.
You didn't need to remind me of that, Commander.
Moving into position.
Yeah.
All right. You get into position. You can get a quick overview of the room from where you're at.
Did we need to roll for that that plan setup? Was that going to give advantage or anything? I don't know how that.
If you want to roll for it, I mean, I assume you're going to succeed. Difficulty 2 when you're rolling 15s. So you go ahead and give a roll if you want. It'd be security and or no, it'd be
Security.
I would say reason and command probably.
Oh yeah, command word, yeah.
Daring in command. Could I argue daring in command?
Yeah, I'd take daring and command since
All right.
you're fighting Klingons that have
Yeah,
that are an unknown quantity.
Ambrose is definitely more daring and intuitive with his planning than he is necessarily
Strategic.
sure. Yeah.
I ain't got no strategery.
And yes, with my team dynamics, that gives me a focus.
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha.
So that is enough. That gives you the advantage. That will administer an advantage until things go sideways.
Okay.
Okay.
I take this. I don't want that there. That's also not who I want there. That's the one I want. You can't see him though. And then I want maps, and I want. Where's my door? Come on, you're killing me. Oh, that's because I'm on NPCs, not maps. There we go. You look around the corner and you see that, except with Klingons.
I see a question mark with an X through it.
Yeah.
Dang it. All right, well.
I can see the tiny picture on.
I
Oh,
can
there
see
it
it.
is. All right.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys couldn't see it, but did it come through?
Yeah.
Yep.
It just took a
Alright.
little bit.
Yeah, just loading because you hadn't seen this one yet. So that's your room. The doors are on the side that we're facing into. So you're looking into the room from a doorway, and then the other doorway where they'll be coming in, where your guys will be coming in from, is to the left of that picture where the light is brightest. What you can do? There are 6 Klingons in there, all at various stations, including this guy who is near the middle.
What?
It'll load.
Okay. Could I reach him in one round's movement?
It would be, you'd have to do it as using your full movement action and your secondary action to do it. He's 2 spaces away.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons I
okay.
wanted to have a map
Yeah.
for this. But essentially, the
Yeah.
room is going to be divided into 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 spaces essentially. You can get to him in one action, but it would require all of your actions to do it. That makes sense.
Yes, yes.
Let's see. I need to open up my combat thing here. For those of you who don't know, I use the Kennick STA cheat sheet, which is very nice, very handy.
Do you guys need link to that? I know I pinned it in one of our chats somewhere.
Got my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have to go and grab that because I've been trying to look through the rule book like this whole game looking for combat rules and man, I love this game but I hate this rule book.
Yeah. I shared it
Yeah.
somewhere at some point.
You shared it and I pinned it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of where the hell did I pin it?
Cheat sheet.
So in the Star Trek Starfleet Command Discord server, it is pinned, should be pinned there. But it may not be.
Okay. Well,
Europa sheet.
we can continue.
It doesn't appear to be pinned there in the resources section, which is where I thought it would be, is the resources section, but it's not because I'm, not a great person.
Oh, here it is.
So anyway, that is there. And you guys have the initiative as they don't know you're here yet. So
These are full Borged out Klingons, right? I mean, not Borg, but like cyberly enhanced.
You actually don't see any cybernetic enhancements on any of them. They are probably enhanced, but you're not visibly seeing any enhancements.
Okay.
It is a safe assumption that they are though.
Yeah. No, this doesn't change anything for Ambrose. Everybody's weapon has still been ordered to be sent to kill.
Right. So, with that note, you get to go first. I assume that
was
the other guys are going to wait for you to
Stupid
make your first
misunderstanding.
action.
All right.
This guy we have a picture of, he's in the center of the room. You said?
Nearest the center, yeah.
Or the center.
Really stupid.
Which is where the gate is. He's standing looking up at the gate.
Right. If I rush straight to him, Would I be behind decent enough cover that I'm not just going to be completely blasted by 5 other Klingons?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So I probably
You would
don't want
have
to do that.
you would have no cover if you go Deadwood for Sinner. But by the same token, he's not under any cover.
Right. Yeah. So few systems have a good breach and clear system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys can certainly do the problem with breach and clear is if there's a guy in the middle of the room and you want to go get to him, that's not part of the breach and clear. Like that's not even a thing you do in breach and clear. You shoot the guy.
If you want, I can go first and I can create cover for you.
But I mean, my line of thinking was basically setting up a surprise round or an ambush or ready actions in D&D, so that when we start combat, we all get to go and they do nothing and just die. But that's not how this game works.
So the way it basically would work is if you want to do it that way, I can give you essentially your role rather than giving you advantage on anything would just give you the free keep the initiative action.
I have a way to do that once for free already.
Which would give you a total of 3 actions before they got to go.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, okay. No, I'd say because he looks like the important one, I want to try to get him with the hypo spray. So I think first. So I think the best way to do this would be for me to try to take one of them down. Then Chierka blows the system, creating a distraction for the other 4 security personnel to take their shots. And then once everybody else is mopped up, I run up on this guy.
Right. So you want to go last, essentially. Or no, you're going to go first, shoot somebody, then Chierka.
I can't see any way that we're going to take down all of them in a single round before they are able to retaliate in the system.
That's not really how this is.
Not really, no. I mean, area of attack weapons. You have area of attack weapons, so that's the only way you'd be able to do it. But you have to do a significant amount of damage to be able to take them down. And these guys, I don't want to get into what their stats are, but they're not going to be easy to take down.
They're not going to be easy to take down. No, I want to keep him alive, so I guess we just got to take out the other 5 first. Yeah, so I guess I will just shoot the one that is at a most strategic place to shoot. That is the problem with not having a battle map. You can't really be too strategic.
Well, Star Trek is also a zone-based combat. It isn't like there's grid-based. It's anyone in that zone you can attack, anyone in the other zone you can attack, that kind of stuff. So it's much looser than that level of strategy. But you can certainly shoot the quote-unquote most strategically located guy. I'm not the easiest to hit because that would be more Jod.
Yeah. Is there any cover I could get behind?
I'm going to assume that until you step out of cover, until you step out of the hallway that you're in, you are behind cover.
Okay, gotcha.
I would even say it's probably 2 dice of cover.
Okay. I don't think I can do the super sophisticated breach and clear strategy that I want to do, so I guess I'll just shoot somebody.
Okay. All right, give me your attack.
So
it is a difficulty of 2 with a disruptor or with a phaser.
With my type 3, that is that's control and security, right? Because it's ranged.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Yep.
Control, security. Cool.
See if I can figure out where I put my rules for this game. I don't know where I put them.
I don't think I really have a focus. This has accurate. What does that do? That gives me something, right?
Yes. Accurate is if aimed.
Okay.
If aimed, a creature may re-roll a number of d20s. You also, I think, you have charge, right?
Yes.
So you have to choose which one of those 2 you're going to be doing. You can either, before you make the action, you have to say, I'm doing charge, or accurate, which is aim, basically. You're aiming which uses up a PC may reroll a single die during an attack until the start of the next turn. Essentially, that is your minor action. So rather than moving, you're doing aim and firing
Right.
or charge. You get to one or the other.
And again, trying to navigate the rule book to find what charge means.
So charge allows you to be if you've prepared charge, you can add either an area of effect intensity, which does additional damage. I think I can't remember what intense was, but piercing 2 or vicious of 1.
I added the cheat sheet to the chat and pinned it.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
cool.
So intense means if they want to avoid injury, they have to. It's harder for them to avoid injury.
Okay.
That cheat sheet's very handy. You'll like that cheat sheet.
Okay. Difficulty 2. I'm rolling a 15. I just get flashbacks of the time at that station against the giant robots where I just completely whiffed.
It is possible. Unfortunately, one of the things about this game is the difficulty for firing weapons is almost always just 2, and you can sometimes fail.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go with aimed because I'd rather just make sure I hit, and it's a type 3, and I have high security, so I should be rolling quite a good amount of damage dice.
I think the type 3 gets a bonus when you're aiming.
I don't have weapons in front of me, unfortunately.
I'll look it up.
That's the one thing my cheat sheet doesn't have is the actual weapons. I have other cheat sheets, but I don't know where any of them are. There's a point when if you got so many cheat sheets open, it's not worth having. And normally I have my screen. I have a GM screen for when we're playing in person, and they're on there.
If the character performs the aim minor action, they can any
that's
number of d20s may be re-rolled.
Yeah, that's the accurate function.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use my minor action to aim with the accurate quality, and then I'm gonna fire.
Okay.
So I get to roll my 2d20. I don't have any focus, but I can re-roll any of those 2. Actually, you know what? I'm what is that? It's bold. Take a threat.
Okay. I like those.
All right. Go. Booyah. You know what? Just because I can, I'm going to re-roll that 18. Okay. That's 3 successes because I don't have. Interesting. Tong, what are you doing here? Get back to the ship.
Right? I'm helping. That is 4 successes, right? Because the 1 counts as 2.
Oh, right. Yes, 4.
So 4 successes, which means you hit and you have 2 momentum to spend on the roll itself, or the damage roll. I mean, which again, that sheet. If you look at that, it's got momentum spends. If you open to that cheat sheet. There's all kinds of things you can do with that.
Yeah.
So, and then you will roll the weapon is, I believe the type 3 weapon is 3.
Oh man, this just caused my eyes to completely glaze over.
There's a lot of info there. Yeah.
Okay, but weapon damage is the Star Trek symbol plus security in D6s, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that is all of the D6s.
Well, the weapon does
9.
No, it does 4.
What?
The weapon does 4. It probably has your security.
I already built that in. I built that in.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so I roll 9d6. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6,
on your sheet, if you've got that, you can double click. You can double click on the 9, and it'll just roll it for you.
Well, I already clicked on all the d6s, so I'll just do that manually.
It does the math for me now if you do it that way next time. So.
Oh well, I guess I can just drop the d6s.
That's right. Drop them. There you go. 12 damage and 2 effects. Plus you have 2 momentum. So the 2 effects don't apply because you don't have you didn't charge. So the weapon doesn't have anything you can use effects on. Normally that's what we'd use. You'd use charge. You'd use your effects for that.
Okay.
So you don't have that at the moment. Or if the weapon has other effects, but the Klingon weapons have some effects that they don't need charge for. So you did 12 damage and you have 2 momentum. What do you want to do with the 2 momentum? The 2 most common things are usually like piercing, disarm.
Yeah, I actually, it's easier to read from the book than it is that eyesore of a
Really, I find this thing way easier.
I think once you figure out what's where, it's a hell of a lot easier. But
Mm.
at first glance, it is
There's a lot there.
challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do yeah. So you could do the ones that you can do for combat, and I'll just read these off. You can find them in the book while I'm talking.
I have it. Bonus damage,
Disarm.
disarm, penetration, reroll
Yeah.
damage.
You can also do extra minor action, keep the initiative, penetration, reroll damage, avoid injury, secondary targets, or swift tasks. So just that's
Right.
for the people listening. Those are the minor actions you can do in this kind of combat.
Right.
And you have 2, so you can do any of them, or 2 of them if you have
Right.
if they roll 1 at a time.
If you use that extra minor action to charge, you'll get a ton of extra damage.
Okay, that sounds good to me. That looks like that is a cost of 1 + 1R. What does that mean?
Repeatable.
Okay, so that is 1 there. So yeah, I'll take that extra minor action to charge, I guess, while I'm shooting.
Yeah.
guess.
Normally that doesn't work because charge has to be done beforehand, but I'll allow it because they're Klingons. I don't care.
I mean, you tell me.
Just for future reference, the charge has to be done before you actually make the roll, but it doesn't. I don't really care in this particular instance because these guys are badass and it's fine. So
No,
your charge
that's not how that works. So I won't do it.
Okay.
I will spend it on penetration and extra damage then.
Okay.
Because I assume they have some sort of resistance.
Yes, they do in fact. So you're going to drop their resistance by 2 because that's what penetration will do, and then you want to do additional damage, which is bonus damage. So you'd add +1 damage for your other one, right? For your other momentum. It's not one additional
yes.
rolled die. It's one additional
Yes,
damage.
one
So it's
additional
1
damage. Yeah.
So you're doing 13 damage.
Yeah.
And you're doing a resistance of 2.
Yes.
And I need to bust out my sheet real quick here because I have their stats. Stats of Klingons. Oh, crap. Okay. I only sort of have the stats for Klingons. Hang on one second. I have the Klingon ship, and apparently I deleted the Klingons themselves.
Cybermen got him.
Yeah.
We don't need to add Cybermen to this game, thank you.
No.
That's a crossover nobody wants.
All right. So, you do 11 damage because they still have resistance of the resistance total is 4, which is a crap load of damage. And because of the system that we use, our playtest class house rules, whatever they are, every 5 they take 2. I'm assuming that the weapon is on lethal.
What do you mean every 5 they take 2?
So every 5, rather than being all right. So normally in Star Trek, when you take 5 damage
You
or
get an injury.
more, you take an injury.
Yeah.
I really prefer it to be every 5 you take is an injury, which makes the game far more lethal.
I gotcha. They stack, is what you're saying.
They stack.
Gotcha,
So in
gotcha.
this particular case, they have taken 10 damage, which is 2 wounds, 2 injuries, I should say.
11 damage.
And 11 damage.
Yeah.
So let me multiply this 6 times so I have 6 of them. Insert a table that is 1 by 6. And I will track my wounds this way. Because I was totally prepared. I was totally prepared for this. I mean, I was, but. So, he's down to that many. And he has taken 2 wounds. He is still standing.
Oy.
Which, by normal rules, is not possible because you can only take 2 normally.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
And I assume you have the weapon set to heavy, to lethal.
Oh, yes.
Just normal lethal.
Oh, yes.
So, if you also look at our rules for damage, I have various levels there, but short of going to disintegrate, you're not going to do a whole lot more.
Okay.
There is high damage, high lethal, which is +2 damage, so you take 2 more. But I gain 2 threat for you to do that. So. Or disintegrate, which just works. It doesn't. It's +4 damage, but still, that's pretty good. Let's just for now. Let's just leave it at normal
we'll just leave it
damage.
at this. We'll just leave it at as much as I love giving you threat.
Right.
No, but I will be using follow my action, quick to lead. One of them. Let's just keep the initiative.
Right. So you manage to maintain momentum, which is the actual thing I think it's called. Keep the initiative. It's called keep the initiative. Well,
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah.
Which means that
Quick to action. Yeah.
yeah, which means either Chirka can go or you can have one of your NPCs go. I assume you want Chirka to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and explode that thing.
All right. Give me an attack roll, a basic attack roll. Difficulty is only 1. I want to make sure you hit somebody with it, and then I'll
Can I
just
roll
determine what damage is.
engineering as the attack.
Yeah, sure. See if we blow somebody up.
I will use a momentum. 3 successes.
Okay. So you blow somebody up. Let's see. I'm gonna just, for the sake of doing this, roll on Ambrose's sheet. All right, so that is 9 damage to the one Klingon, and I'm also going to assume it knocks him down. Let's see, where am I got here? So the explosion goes off, and one of the Klingons goes flying across the room.
All right.
Which leaves him with 6. And he takes 1 wound, so he's at 3. All right, he goes flying across the room and skitters. His bat left goes flying out of his hand, because for some reason he had it in his hand. It goes flying off of his personage, and he is going to be out of the combat for an additional round, so he has lost the turn.
Okay.
And then this is going to be Morjad. Who's going to have... All right. With that, I get to go. Morjad turns and looks at where the first phaser shot comes from, and then promptly turns to look at where the explosion was. Smiles this huge, like, just Klingon-y smile, the most Klingon-y smile you've seen since Worf got to kill somebody for real. And he draws out his pair of mek'leth. And he's going to slowly walk towards Ambrose.
Okay, we'll see him in a few rounds.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't want to rush up
You
there.
said
because I don't
slowly.
yeah, he's menacingly walking towards you. So if you turn your head, he's there. Don't lose visual on him.
Ah, right. Bad guy speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which leads us back to your guys. I don't really know how to do NPCs particularly well. I don't like rolling for everybody. So what I'm going to do is roll. I'm going to make a roll and use a narrative decision.
Does our plan give them
It does.
any
It
sort
will,
of-
it will
okay.
take into effect. All right. So 9 and 2 with advantage. So, all right. So the 4 guys, they because you guys don't have any more actions you can do. So everyone, other Klingons and them are all just going to go now. They spin in. Their first guy rolls into the room. I got an email I had to check. Rolls into the room and opens fire, hits one of the Klingons. Your squad of guys rolls into the room and opens fire on the Klingons. A couple of Klingons manage to take some cover, but one of the Klingons actually takes several shots from one of the guys and is just flat eradicated. It's like that. It's that he takes 5 or 6 shots from 2 guys who are using area effect or whatever feature they're using from their phasers, and you like he gets that vaporization where it's he opened the arc kind of thing, and he just turns into a puddle of goo and batleth. So far, none of your guys are injured. The Klingons do fire back. Your guys are no longer under cover, but none of them are particularly injured. Let's see. I need a second row. However, the Klingons, the 2 remaining Klingons that are standing, draw their disruptor rifles, which I will go ahead and spend the threat to do. And they will open fire back, and they will miss for the first round. So your guys are okay for the first round.
Good.
Back to the top. It is your turn. How you want to do? You got 1 Klingon who's on the ground from the blow up. He can't act this. He can't. He will be able to act this round, but he couldn't act last round. You've got the one you've shot and injured. You've got 2 who are unharmed, and you've got 1 who is coming towards you, and it's also unharmed.
Unarmed?
Unharmed.
Unharmed. Gotcha.
He is armed. He is
Yes,
definitely
he is
armed with a
very
pair
much
of-
armed. Yeah.
He has a pair of mechleth, which will do you no good if he hits you with them. Although pair weapons don't mean anything in this
Yeah.
game.
Brian, did you have something?
Yeah, I had something. What I would like to do is I would like to take a power source from my tricorder and plug it into a device to try to make it an electromagnetic magnet and try and disarm them using some engineering ingenuity.
I'll allow it, but there's no discrimination for anything that your guys are carrying either. If it'll disarm their disruptors, it could also disarm your phasers.
I was thinking just one person's this
Mechleth.
yeah, like
Okay.
How are you going to EMP a mechleth?
Not EMP. He's talking about like a magnetic, creating an actual magnetic field that will pull them to him.
Okay.
Um,
Doing that Magneto shit.
right. Or at least not necessarily to you, but away from him is what you're looking for, right?
yeah, well, I'm trying to disarm him using the disarm momentum effect.
Right. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it as if it's a ranged attack. And if you get the momentum, then you can. If you get the 2 momentum, you can spend them to disarm him, and the weapons will go. They'll attach to something somewhere. Let's make this an engineering daring roll. And your difficulty will be 2 because the difficulty. We'll do it as a basic ranged combat. So
Makes sense to me. Oh,
all right. It does not work.
No.
He smiles and it's hard to use complications like that in the moment.
He could target me.
Yeah, well, I was definitely going to do that. I was thinking about throwing the mechleth at you and pinning you to a wall, but that's not really a thing I can do. At least not with that. Trying to think. I can add a complication to something. I can add a
Perhaps I disarm somebody else.
that could be. Yeah, I'm going to say that your process of doing that, you actually got one of your guys, the beam of the magnetic field that you created was closer to one of the, or directed towards one of your guys instead of theirs, and he has released control of his type 3 type. He only had type 2 phaser because I think Ambrose only took type 3, right? Or did you want everyone taking type 3?
I think you gave us all type 3 last
Yeah,
game.
I think I thought yeah.
That's fine. I mean, it's fine either way. It doesn't matter. He's disarmed. So you've disarmed one of your own guys. He has a type 2 backup phaser though, so it'll be all right.
I thought that pipe connected to that pipe. Oh, nuts.
Which brings us back around to me. Morjad has taken one turn to walk towards you. He will take this turn to complete his walk towards you. Using his minor action to move. So he is now in range. And he will hack a slashy on Ambrose. I was going to do Chirka, but that's not fair to Chirka. That's
Ambrose would definitely step in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Klingani rolls 2.
Melee is contested, right?
It is the way we do it. Yes, it is. Attacker uses daring and security, or whatever seems most appropriate. And if you are going to, dodge, it's daring and fitness. If you're going to try to counter attack, it is. If you're going to dodge, it's fitness. If you're going to try to counter attack, it's daring. So it's your choice.
Oh yeah, definitely going counterattack. Yep. Daring, security. I have a focus in hand-to-hand combat.
So does he, which doesn't matter because I rolled an 8 and an 8.
Cool. Okay. You know what? Take another threat because I'm bold. Fighting a cyborg Klingon one-on-one is the definition of bold.
Okay.
All right, let's do this.
3 successes, barely. All right, so you have the advantage. You step in between. You step up to face him and catch him slightly off guard. You do damage because that's how the counterattack works.
Okay. Since my melee weapon I'm wielding is a hypo spray, can I just stick him?
Your melee weapon you'd be fighting him with at the moment would probably, because you didn't have a chance. Your action. This isn't your normal. Well,
okay.
This would be your normal action. You still have the phaser in your hand at the moment, so you'd have to hit him with the phaser first.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
I'll just
bash him or whatever you want to do. Because you can't change weapons during this
That's fine.
phase.
Sure. I'll dodge a mechleth, catch the other one with the center of the rifle, and just whip him in the face with the butt of the gun.
All right. Roll it's 1 plus your security.
Okay. Is there anything fancy to click on there, or do I do that manually?
1 plus your security would be 6, so go ahead and click on that. I'd send it on your sheet.
Oh.
You can always add those to your sheet, doesn't matter. 6 damage and 2 effects. The effects don't matter. Effects don't matter here. You have 1 momentum to spend on that action. So
okay.
Bonus damage, extra minor action, penetration, or reroll damage.
Can I pull from our momentum pool to spend 2, or just what I generated?
You could spend 1 from your pool, yes.
Because I'd kind of like to. It says disarm 1 weapon held, but you're saying he's dual wielding, right? Does that?
He is
okay.
dual wielding.
So that wouldn't really help.
No.
Okay.
There also is a way to knock somebody down. When fighting with hand to hand, you can also, I believe, use the knockdown. You should normally have that from just punching.
Yeah.
Knockdown.
Which is 2 momentum, I believe.
No, it triggers if the effect.
Oh, right. You can do it with effects. So.
Okay.
Right. So you can knock him down if you want to, and disarm him if you want to. Disarm 1 of his weapons if you want to.
Okay. What does knocking him down? How does that benefit me?
It makes him prone. It makes him use in order for him to get up, he'd have to use a move action essentially.
Okay. And that is using effects, not momentum, you said?
Correct. And he can still attack you from the ground position, but it's at disadvantage.
Right.
So.
Okay. I am going to knock him to the ground, and I'll still have my own action after this, right? That was just
correct.
Retaliate. Okay. So I'm going to knock him to the ground, and I'm actually going to take my extra minor action to switch to the hypo spray. Is that something I can do?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I see there's also a grapple option here. Is that something I can do?
That would be next round.
Okay.
That would be on your attack.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So you switch to hypospray. And that was my action. I am going to be a dick and spend 2 threat to maintain my momentum.
All right.
The Klingons are going to open fire. I will once again roll 2 dice and narrate as appropriate. Oh man, that's good for you guys. Okay. Once again, your guys open fire, their guys open fire. Some things happen. It goes back and forth a little bit. And that's going to take 1 wound. That guy's going to take 1 wound. And the Klingons are just sucking balls today. They're not doing anything. And then that guy gets up, and he will go after your action. I will have 1 more Klingon to go after you. So, let's see. It's not 3, only 2. Roll 2. Klingons in retaliation. Okay. 3 of the Klingons retaliate. The one stands up and fires. The other 2 that are attacked fire. Morjat is with you, and then the guy that you attacked the first round will attack this. Will attack after you go. One of your guys gets hit and is down, mildly disrupted. Takes 2 injuries. Other than that, you've got 3 guys on your side still up, and 2 Klingons took damage that turn. So you can now go.
Okay. Do I need to grapple this guy before I stick him with the hypo spray?
You'd either grapple him or make a melee attack.
I thought the grapple was an effect from a melee attack, or are they 2 separate things?
I have them as we have them as 2 separate things. So the combatant can attempt to grapple, hold, tackle, or otherwise restrain a foe from fitness security. If you get more successes than your opponent, you don't do damage. Instead, you restrain the opponent, or in other words, attack them, and you'd be able to use your hypospray then. Or you just make an attack and hypospray them as if it was a normal melee attack.
It might be worth noting that it requires a open hand, which if you're holding the phaser rifle in one, the hypospray in the other.
I figured I just let that sling over onto my back.
Yeah, I assumed you dropped the quote unquote dropped the phaser rifle, but they got straps. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it would take 2 actions to grapple and hypospray, but only 1 action to just hypospray, I don't see the reason to do the former. If I'm understanding how the flow of combat is going to work here.
So
unless it gives me benefits.
So the combat, the only real reason to grapple him in this case is, grappling doesn't give your opponent a chance to counterattack, as it were. Doing the hand-to-hand combat, they can counterattack. Whereas this, if they're fighting off of the grapple, and if you don't grapple them, if you do succeed in the grapple, you can do the hypospray. If you don't succeed in the grapple, you can't, basically.
Okay, if I succeed on the grapple, I automatically also get to do the hyperspray. It's not a separate turn. Okay.
It would not be.
Okay.
In this case.
Does him being on the ground help me grappling him?
I would say it would probably give you advantage. Seems a lot, but it would probably be advantage given that he's on the ground and prone, which would basically mean that you would have a +1. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a free momentum because that's easier.
Okay.
To do the math on.
So grapple. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to grapple him on the ground.
That is a fitness and security versus fitness and security roll.
Okay. Fitness.
And I'm gonna
security.
A threat.
I'm I'm going to spend that free momentum that you gave me for a third dice. And then I'm going to buy one, give you another momentum with bold to get 4 dice with my focus, fitness, security, roll. Oof. Still 5 successes.
All right, you managed to grapple him.
Okay.
Because I only got 3.
Yeah, and I just, as soon as I knock him down, I'm just dive on top of him. We go into a tumble, and throughout this, I'm just going to pull out my hypo spray and try to jab it into his neck.
Right. You do succeed in that. Roll. I'm going to say it's 12. Roll that top one, that 12 that I just created for you.
Okay.
That will be the hypo. That'll be the hypo spray doing damage.
Oh,
and it is
I thought this was an automatic knockout. Okay.
right. Well, it's supposed to be.
Damn it, Dasabi.
12 should be for
Come
most
on.
anybody. I will say that this bypasses resistance though, so you're doing 7 straight.
Man, I only got 7 there. Didn't
Yeah,
I
not
roll
great.
higher on less dice?
You did.
Is there an option to? Can I spend momentum to reroll? I remember seeing that as a something somewhere. There's so many charts.
You can spend 1 momentum to re-roll damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. What do I get to reroll?
Any of those you want.
What is not damage? I don't know what any of these numbers mean.
So a
Because
1 is 1 damage.
Star Trek has its own dice.
Right. 1 is 1 damage. 2 is 2 damage. 3 and 4 are 0. 5 and 6 are 1 and an effect. So you'd
Okay.
want to re-roll at least your
I want to reroll
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fours. Or your 5 that are nothing. You have 5 that are
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll those 5.
You could just re-roll all of them if you want to, because that's kind of a bad roll.
Just re-roll all of them.
You can if you want
All right.
to. You don't have to.
You know what? Sure, that's probably easier. Just go again. Just do it again. Be better, please. All right,
Okay.
that is the better. Yeah.
10 and 4 effects, which I will take the effects into account because of the medication, and they're going to count essentially as vicious 1. So that is 14 damage on Morjad, which puts him there. Resistance doesn't apply because it's a medication. He takes 2 wounds because of the thing. Almost takes 3. You don't have any momentum to spend. So you can't get a 15. So you can't get 3 wounds, but you get 2. And he gets a little woozy. You can see it in his eyes, like it starts taking effect, and he kind of shakes it off, and you can see almost like in his eye, almost like a matrixy, in his left eye, something almost like a matrixy, like something is calculating inside of his eye, and you can see it. And that is your turn. But you're now lying on the ground. You're now lying on the ground, rolling around with a Klingon.
The cyborg Klingon.
With a cyborg Klingon. And the other
Did
Klingon
not
is
go
going
as planned.
The other Klingon is going to fire. He got the last one to go. I was going to fire at you, but now you're rolling on the ground, so he won't. He's going to aim that thing at Chirka and fire at Chirka. 2 to fire at Chirka. Counts as only 1. Oh, no, that is 2 successes because he's got the focus. So it hits. Damage on the disruptor is 4 plus his security, which is 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 8. Okay. 8d6. Go ahead and roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you take 5 damage, Chirka, from a disruptor.
I will give you 2 threat to avoid the injury, and I will take the complication. What he was using a disruptor? I'll take
Correct.
this disruptor burn.
All right. So Chirka's hit, knocked back a little bit, but nothing substantial. No game effect that is going to do anything other than
Well, the complication.
the complication. Right.
That's a negative.
It does. I mean, there's no. You know what I mean? There's no. You're not down or out.
I'm not dying.
You're not dying. Hits your shoulder area and like throws you back a little bit against the wall, and you have a pretty nasty burn on the left shoulder. Which brings us back around to the top. And you guys get to decide who goes first.
I'll go first. So I will. I'm obviously being shot at by a Klingon. I would like to roll for cover with my minor action, and then shoot him with a phaser with my. I have a type 2 phaser.
You're gonna shoot Morjad?
Whoever shot me, I'm shooting back.
Okay, right. That's not Morjad. Okay.
Yeah. I will give you a threat to roll another die. That is daring plus security. That is 1 success.
Okay, that misses.
Actually,
Phaser blast goes right past his head and hits the wall next to him, and he appears unfazed by that.
Okay.
Get it? Phaser phased.
Ah,
Ha! Morjad goes next. What do I want to do with Morjad here?
pass out. Just delayed effect. Just
On your turn, he actually will take more damage from the drug, but that's on your turn.
well, he is grappled, so that means he can only do certain things.
Correct.
May only attempt to break free, which I believe is again another contested roll.
Yep.
Or attack me with extra difficulty or something like that.
Right.
I get some sort of bonus.
I am going to attempt to not break free. What I'm going to attempt to do is actually hit my communicator. We're going to say that is going to be...
That's not one of the actions you're allowed to take.
That's true.
And-
It would essentially be break free, and then if he managed to break free, he can hit his communicator damage. So I'm going to spend 3 momentum, or 3 of my thingies, to gain...
is it contested, or the
is
book says
contested.
difficulty 2, fitness plus security? Or,
I've
or
got
did
it-
you change that?
in the Europa Player's Bible, it's contested. I wrote it
Gotcha.
as
Okay.
contested because it makes more sense. to
It
be
makes more
contested.
sense that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Fitness,
And
security. Take another threat because I am still bold fighting a cyborg Klingon 1-on-1.
Oh my god, what a terrible roll. I still got 3 successes though. 3 versus 3. Technically,
Tie goes
because
to the
you
player in this
have-
game, right?
ties go to the player in this situation. Well, ties go to the aggressor in this one. You're the aggressor.
Okay.
So he does not succeed. He goes to go for his to his communicator and does not succeed. Does not break free. Let's see. Can still act against the grappler as normal. Wait. Preventing them from moving and engaging their opponents, though the target can still act against the grappler as normal. In the next round, the grappler may engage the foe, blah, 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 blah. Can hold in place. If grappled combatant wins, they escape and can move freely the next round. There are experiment, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You manage to basically, as he goes to reach for his communicator, you grab his arm and pin it to the ground. I am going to spend 2 of my remaining thingies here to take a swift action and headbutt you instead.
Nice. I was waiting for that headbutt.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how I could do it. This
That's
is
a
a
swift action?
It costs, so as a swift action allows me to basically take another action. And it costs 2
okay.
momentum to do it.
Gotcha. But that's a melee attack, right? That's also contested?
In this case, it's a melee attack increased with difficulty of 1.
Yeah.
Since he's not, it wouldn't, in this case, it's not going to be fitness and security. It's going to be just daring and security. Versus you can't really counterattack with a headbutt. You're holding his arm, so it would be fitness and security would be your to attempt to not get hit.
Okay. Fitness.
I'm going to
security.
spend 2 more here. I'll spend my last 2.
Does anti-headbutt maneuvers count as hand-to-hand? I mean, that sounds like hand-to-hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Take another threat because I'm still bold.
Man, he's rolling like crap today. That is still, well, that's 4 successes, so. He gets 4, but no, his, what are the words I'm looking for? His bonus is his thingy doesn't apply. His focus doesn't apply here. Or you have 3 successes and no focuses that apply, so you will take damage. He has 1 additional success on you, so I get 1 momentum. Gonna roll damage. And his headbutt is 1 plus security, which is 5. So 6 damage. Or 6 dice, I should say. And I'm going to use my 1 to do an additional damage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 damage from the headbutt, sir. That hurts.
And ridges are sharp.
Yeah.
Ridges is sharp.
Yeah.
Ambrose takes 1 to the face. Breaks your nose. Blood goes everywhere. You see stars for a second. It's 9. So you take 1 injury. Or you can avoid injury, except that you don't have momentum left, so you can't.
What does that injury mean?
Injury means you can't act anymore. So I would suggest avoiding the injury.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid the injury however I can.
Right.
Can I just give you threat for that?
You basically give me 2 more
Yeah.
threat. Yep. And
Yeah,
you
take
take
one
avoid injury, which you can then take a complication. And the complication would be like breaks your nose and you're down. You'll be working at disadvantage, which basically means you lose the advantage that you had from your previous whatever.
Okay.
So
Sure.
So yes, you have a broken nose. There's blood pouring out of your face. Your eyes are blackening up. It hurt.
Yes.
He did it hurt. And it's your turn. He takes some more damage for being poisoned. Which he's still up.
Ugh.
A lot easier to take
Doctor.
down now.
Okay. Man, I was really hoping I could just counter headbutt him into unconsciousness, but that did not work.
Yeah, I would like to spend 2 threat to keep the initiative.
You don't need to yet because it's your turn.
All right, well then I will run over and kick the Klingon in the head.
Well, I should say it's Ambrose's turn because you went already, right?
Yeah, you went first. Yeah.
Yeah. So to keep the initiative, you would have to spend 4 momentum. You'd have,
No, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, he'd have to go. You'd spend 2 to spend initiative, and then 2
I
more.
lost track of the turns.
Yeah.
So,
And 2 more to be able to do swift action. But it's Ambrose's turn at the moment. So
Okay. He is still grappled though, right?
correct.
So I gain a bonus momentum on all melee attacks made against the grappled character. So
yes.
yeah. I assume this hypo spray was a one-use thing. I
Yes.
can't just double them up. Okay,
Correct.
that'd probably be unhealthy anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to melee attack. Just continue to just
Try to punch him.
yeah.
Okay.
Just rolling around on the ground, just alleyway brawling. Yeah.
Okay. It is
Daring security.
daring security versus his fitness and security because he can't counterattack because you're grappling him.
All right. Take your threat.
I will spend that threat right now.
by the way, I found the effects for being prone. It's 2 bonus momentum from attacks in close range, whether ranged or melee.
So you get another bonus momentum there.
2 bonus.
Yeah, he would get another one. You'd get 2 momentum, 2 additional momentum to go on there.
Okay, so I can.
They
buy
don't
an
count
extra dice
towards
for that?
rolls. They count towards what you can do on their sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's got 1, 2, 3 successes. You've got 3 successes. You have advantage, so because you're the aggressor, so you can, but you have 0 momentum from the attack, but 2 momentum from the grapple. So
Okay.
you can roll damage, and you have 2 momentum.
Okay. That was 6 again, right?
Yeah, correct. Four damage, 1 effect. The effect would be the only thing you can do is knock him down, which you can't do because he's already down. And you get 2 momentum, so You can either reroll, do more damage, use penetration, which would probably be a good idea.
Right. Is reroll 1 or 2? Where's my list here? 1. Okay, so I can spend 1 on penetration and 1 to reroll those 3s because 3s are nothing.
Correct.
Okay, so I can reroll 3 dice and penetrate away 2 of his resistance.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to do that. There we go.
So 5,
9.
9. Yes, 9 damage. No effects don't apply. -2 because of his resistance. He takes another wound and is now clearly stunned. Still alive, but clearly where you would be injured, that's where he would be. He can take no further actions without spending threat.
Okay.
Or in your case, normally for you guys it would be determination. For him, it's threat.
Okay. Yeah, one good elbow to the side of his face.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's got some blood trickling out of his mouth now, and not great for him. I now get to go, and I haven't taken any of my other actions this turn. So, let's see. Roll for your guys, and then roll for my guys. Whoops, I only want to roll 2, not 3. You guys do pretty good. My guys do pretty good. Okay, so they drop a Klingon. He's dead. They drop another Klingon. He's dead. One of your guys goes down. You're down 2. They're down 3. I have 2 left. One of them is going to shoot at Chirka, and the other one is going to shoot at Ambrose with disadvantage because he's got to shoot past Morjad. So let's start with shooting at Chirka.
I get resistance from cover.
Yeah, which is 2 rolled dice, and he misses anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then shooting at Ambrose, difficulty is going to be 3. I'm going to spend a threat to roll 3 dice. And that is 2 successes, so he misses. So a disruptor blast goes scaling past your head. And I am going to, it is at the beginning of the round, but I'm going to spend 2 momentum, my last 2 threat, to maintain the initiative, and Morjad is going to go.
I thought he had to spend threat in order to take an
Oh,
action.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I can't. I wouldn't be able to let him go. So it is your turn. Who's going to go?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and tackle Morjad.
Well, Morjad's down.
He seems to still be kicking.
Well, he's down. He's being held by Ambrose, so you'll be getting involved with Ambrose to help hold down Morjad, which you can do. I'm not saying you can do it. I'm describing what the scene would be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping I can do any damage whatsoever, and hopefully that'll be enough to render him defeated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to count on that. I'm going to come over and kick him in the head.
Well, the only thing past injured is dead, right?
No, defeated. Which, if you're using a non-lethal attack, such as a kick,
Okay.
You're unconscious.
Fine. I won't 1v1 this Klingon.
If you want to 1v1, I can do something else. We're collaborating here, so I can do something else.
You do still have 2 other.
There are still 2
other
Klingons firing disruptors. I think they're more dangerous.
I
Yeah.
will shoot the other Klingons. I just wanted to have Chirka help somehow.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want to do. It's fine by me.
All right. I will attack the other Klingons.
Either shoot, disarm,
you know
blow
what?
up a console.
I take that back. I am actually going to recover. No 2 stress per momentum. Yeah, I'm going to do a fitness and command roll to catch my breath and be able to. Well, if I get hit, I'm not going to die. No, wait, I didn't take an injury. Never mind.
You didn't take an injury though, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I would need to do that to. But if I get hit again, I can't avoid the injury. That's how that works.
Right.
I'll take a shot. That seems worth the risk. I will aim and then shoot.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'm just going to charge. I'm going to charge for vicious.
Okay. Difficulty is 2.
Yeah, I'll give you a threat to roll 3 die. Well, that's 1. That's 1, so that's not enough to do anything.
Yep. You charge up the phaser and fire, and the council next to the Klingon gets hit and explodes. No shrapnel in the face, but no damage. Just
Right.
And it's my turn.
Let me throw something at you. Actually, since you house rolled that, we have extra determination. Yeah. Let me run this by you. My value respect must be given to be earned. I basically want to assert my dominance over this guy. Can I use that to take an additional task right now? By making him respect me, by 1v1ing him.
Let me look at your thing here. See how this reads. Let's see. I don't know. I don't really see that
because I mean,
there like
respect for a Klingon is very like alpha leader.
Sure.
Like I'm gonna beat you up and you're gonna respect me.
But you're not giving him any respect. You're not earning any respect. You're pummeling him in the face with your face.
That's how Klingons do respect, right?
Sometimes.
I might be stretching.
Maybe it can just be a social check. He intimidates him to try to surrender.
Klingons don't surrender.
At all costs.
They do sometimes. They demonstrably do.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
They demonstrably do. This one probably will not.
Sure.
That might be a stretch.
That's probably
if you don't think that's the thing.
Yeah, it feels like a stretch to me for that one.
I don't have any other way to avoid being headbutted in the face again.
I was trying to knock him out. You wanted to finish his battle battle.
Yeah, I do. Somehow he keeps getting threat, which means he can continually use threat.
Right. I'm gonna use a threat to be able to act. I'm gonna use 2 threat to be able to try to fight back here, and I'm gonna try.
You only had 2 threat.
No, he gave me a threat from.
I did. I gave you 1 threat.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know other people could do that. That's my thing, Brian. Damn it.
That's for times.
That's okay. Okay. All right. Oh, I have the tough talent. What does that do?
I'm not trying to hit you anyway. I mean, I might, but
gives you extra stress.
Oh no, when I have the tough talent. I mean, this might be. Well, I'll have to remember this for later. But whenever you avoid an injury, the cost is reduced by 1. So
gotcha.
It only cost me 1 back when we did that, but that was so long ago. I'm okay with that if it's just gone.
Make a fitness and security check.
Fitness and.
Oh, you're gonna fail that check. Well, maybe not. You might. I got 4 because that's a 19. It's not so bad. I got 4.
Fitness, security, focus. Hey, it looks like you're out of threat.
I am, unless you want to use bold.
Yep. There you go. Take another threat. I do this to myself. Big money, no whammies. No, damn it. Okay. All right. He's out.
He managed to break his arm free and hit his communicator. A few seconds later, you are holding on to the air.
Damn it.
To be fair, though, I lost that fight hard. There are still.
Can I just scream out "coward" in Klingon as he disappears?
Sure.
What is that? I feel like I know what that is. I don't know. That's not Patak. That's something else.
Cog Sofe. Sope?
Well, whatever.
He does not eat Gog is the pronunciation. is what it apparently means.
Okay.
Thank you, Google.
Sure.
Weird. All right, weird. All right. With that, you have the action. There are still 2 Klingons, I think. How many Klingons
he left and he still left his men here? Man, that guy, okay.
Yes, sir. There are 2 Klingons left. Both are wounded.
Dishonor on him, dishonor on his family, dishonor on his targ.
Hey, I had written it in. If you killed him or captured him, I actually had a way to move the story forward even without him. So, but I managed it. I survived to be fighting another day. What are you gonna do though? It's your turn. You have 2 of your guys up. There are 2 of their guys still around, and we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon here. So, what you want to do?
Yeah, Ambrose is pissed. He has a broken nose, and this guy just bamped out on him. Did he take both his mechleths with him?
No,
Okay, they're clattered on the ground somewhere.
clattered on the ground somewhere.
Yeah, this is a really stupid decision, but Ambrose is pissed. He's grabbing one of those mechleths and he's going for no, Ambrose is smarter than that. He's not a barbarian. No, he's just gonna re-sling his rifle and take a shot at one of the Klingons that are left up.
Okay. That will be your to do that will be your minor action to go to kneeling and draw a weapon. So you can't do an aim, but you can fire.
Okay, I'll do that. Control security.
Correct. Difficulty is 2.
Okay, I'll just roll here.
11 and
That's
4.
my
So that's
2.
2 successes. That hits. Roll damage.
There we go.
12 and 2. So your phaser, you can whip the crap out of people.
Yeah. Which is strange because I'm really more built for hand to hand.
Right. Well, phasers do a lot of damage.
That is true.
I mean, 6 is a lot of damage for hand to hand.
Yeah.
So you hit the Klingon, this guy over here. It doesn't really matter which one you hit. You had no momentum, so they got resistance. So you're actually only doing 8.
8.
Well, that one is still going to drop. Drop either one of these. Well, not drop, but I'll do that to either one of these guys. 8 does 1 there, plus 1 for taking him. So he takes 2 more wounds. He's down to 1 wound. He is unconscious. No, well, unconscious, quote unquote. He can take an action by spending a threat.
I mean, these were set to kill. He's dead, right?
No, he still has 1 wound left.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he's at that
Sure.
incapacitated phase.
Okay.
And it's my turn. I assume you don't want your guys to shoot the guy who's on the ground now. That would be very not Starfleety.
Yeah, fine.
You can tell him to if you want
No,
to.
no. We are Starfleet.
Let's roll 2. And then they only have to roll 1. Oh, yeah, no, your guys. Okay. So they take out the last Klingon. He's dead. You've got 1 down, 1 beamed out. So you have 1 in custody, or you can take 1 into custody. You've lost 2 of your guys, and 1 is wounded. So you're down 3, but 2 of them are dead. 1 is just wounded. Plus Chirka took 1 to the shoulder. You took 1 to the face. That's it for that.
Okay.
On that note,
well, can I run over to the ones that are dead and injured, slap their communicator, and call for an emergency beam out for those affected? Me and Cherika are going to stay down here and make sure the mountain doesn't explode.
sure, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume you want your guys to take them and take the one guy into custody, beam him out too.
Yeah.
Okay. Your medical team beams everybody out, beams out the Klingon, the 1 guy who's not hurt, the guy who's hurt, and the 2 that are dead. I assume you're leaving are you going to leave the bodies of the other Klingons, or?
Oh no, we're taking them.
All right, everybody beams out.
Yep.
You guys, I assume, stay to try to put the kibosh on the blow up.
Mhm.
Hold on. As soon as the captain hears this plan, as soon as he gets this comm, he's going to have the Klingons beamed into quarantine, because we know that they might be spreading something.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah.
Sure.
Mills
Okay.
Mills has that set up.
And I assume you're going to have the injured Klingon either go into quarantine in med or quarantine in the jail.
The brig.
Yeah, either way, quarantine wherever is appropriate.
Yeah. Sure, no problem.
Captain, one of the Klingons escaped through a beam out. Is there any way you can get somebody to trace that?
I'll do what I can.
We got a situation to contain down here. I'll be in touch.
All right. It's hard to leave it right there. I don't want to leave it right there, but I also don't want to spend a lot more time on this. Okay, so I gotta get up in the morning. So you run back to the well. First, you guys are heading back into the room to turn off the machine.
Mhm.
We'll go to the bridge first and let the bridge give us a roll on the trying to trace the thing.
Yeah, I'm going to search for any cloak ships while we're at it, because if they got beamed out, it was probably to a cloak ship.
Right.
So, yeah, O'Connor, give us a scan. See if you can find that transporter.
Yeah.
You're
Everyone's
muted.
got to wait. Everyone's got to wake up. So.
No. You're,
Oh, you
you're-
don't have sound. You're muted.
I can't hear you.
Your headset out of power.
I've been over
There
here
you
having
go.
whole ass conversations.
Oh, no.
Well then,
She's been
recent
participating
science?
this whole time, and there's been no.
I have. I just
Uh,
forgot that I muted the headset and Zoom. I unmuted Zoom. All right,
Gotcha.
recent science. Is that what we're
Reason
doing?
and science. Yep.
Reason and science.
Difficulty is with these it is 3. It would normally be 4 because you have your sensors. It's 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double
Can't
check.
hinge
That is
command with the direct.
Yeah, that is a 15. Okay.
Yeah,
go back
that
here.
doesn't. You want to assist is what you want to do.
Yeah,
Right.
can
Yeah.
Hinge assist with the direct is what I meant with
Yeah.
using command.
That's 2. Target is 15.
Plus, I'm sure the ships.
Nice. Yay! Yeah, we get some momentums.
Okay. You do in fact trace the transporter. Actually, I'm not going to give you the momentum yet because you can ask questions. You do trace the beam out to something above the not polar region but northern region of northern hemisphere. There is definitively a ship there, and it is beginning to move.
We'll move to follow it. But I figure we'll pick that up next week.
Yeah. Also, to maintain the lock on it, you'll have to make additional rolls in the future. With that, I guess we will head back to Ambrose and Chirka, who have rushed into the room to disable the giant bomb that Chirka made. The clock is ticking down, to 10, 9, 8. Go ahead and give me a roll to disarm. The difficulty is only going to be 1 because you set it up to not blow up. So you only got to get 1 success on however dice you want to roll, and you have 1 momentum.
Well, I will go ahead and use that remaining momentum.
I would prefer not to explode.
Just
You'll
a
have
bit.
just enough time to, if you don't explode, to not explode, to beam out. So,
I got 3 successes. So
all right, you managed to, as it ticks down, it's 5, 4, 3, and you shut it off. You didn't get to 1. You were better than 1.
Commander, I have good news, and I have good news. We're not going to blow up. That's the good news.
And
Isn't that enough good news?
you
for
said
the-
good news and good news.
Well, it means we're not going to explode twice. I mean, it
Captain, we have an Iconian gateway down here. Please advise.
We're in pursuit of the Klingon vessel. Secure it as best you can. We'll be back for you. We'll beam down a team if we have time.
And we'll leave it there.
Find that Patak for me.
All right. That's a good place to leave it. I like that.
Okay.
Gotta love frustrating players. All right. What moment stands out most to you this evening?
Let me ask. Could
Yeah.
I identify him as Morjad, or is he just some faceless
Absolutely.
Klingon to me?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
he's-
man, I'm gonna have some words with Martok about how much of a bitch ass coward his son is.
That's actually something I want you to do. I really do. There's some information to be gained there. What moment stands out most to you this evening? I personally liked pissing off Ambrose.
Bitch ass coward Morjad.
It's a daily event of mine I like to do. So check one off for accomplishment. Anybody else?
I liked being able to be creative with the engineering.
I did like the attempt to use your engineering to disarm Morjad.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
pretty
shame it didn't work, but
Yeah. Good attempt, though. I liked it. Anybody else got anything? Who best embodied their character? A lot of combat this session, so it's hard to say, but
yeah,
I thought Shirka did a really good job.
thank you.
I
Like
thought
the-
Tong with the bug and trace.
also the not telling anyone
Yeah.
Yes.
what he's
Yep.
doing. Yeah.
That's so Tong. He's in his
That's
own
the-
little world doing his own
the-
thing.
That'll be the 90s sitcom spinoff. That's so Tong.
That's so Tong. Yeah. It's a hollow program he's creating.
Right.
Him and Eva.
Anybody else got anything?
It was a lot of combat.
There was a lot of combat.
Yeah,
I tried to keep the combat interesting. But,
I
you know,
enjoyed it.
combat is combat.
A lot of me asking questions because combat. This is the most complicated combat system I've ever had to deal with. But
it's up there.
It's really. I don't think it's that complicated. Really, it's fairly
There's a
simple.
lot of moving pieces sometimes.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of moving pieces
There's
per
options.
scene.
You
Yeah,
know, the challenge dice are fiddly. That's the problem.
yes. And
well,
those have been-
there's momentum spends and effect spends. Then you have to roll d6s, but the d6s don't have the same faces, so you have to figure out what the
Mhm.
faces mean. And then you have
Right.
things you can spend momentum on and things you can spend effects
Yeah.
on, but you have to charge to get
Weapon
the effects. And
effects.
right.
then
Yeah.
melee is contested and ranged is not, and yada.
Well,
there's so
so
many things you have to
the
consult.
the
and they're all
contested
in
is
different spots in the book.
yeah. The contested thing is actually a rule that I did. That's not the book's rule.
No,
the
it's-
normal,
okay.
normally it's just one success to hit.
No, it's in the
Uh,
book.
I'm
Contested.
for
Yeah.
melee has
Well,
always
all
been
right.
contested.
It may be contested, but it's not. If it's not like there's no counter attack thing for it. That's something I stole from Vampire.
Well, they inflict stress, so they don't do an attack roll. But yeah,
Right.
no, that's in there. If the target wins at a post tech a test, they inflict stress on you instead.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Is that in the Klingon book?
It's at least in the Klingon book. I think it's in the other one too.
I have to reread that because that again the book is terribly written, not terribly
Yeah.
written, terribly laid out. So
Organized,
things
yeah,
are
terribly
difficult to find.
organized. Yeah.
Right.
I really don't actually like the Star Trek version of 2D20. Like I think every other version of 2D20 is better.
Dune's much better. I can tell you that.
I think Conan is better. Like it's really not any more complicated than D&D. It's just again you've never done it, and it's not. It's everyone can do the same things, unlike in D&D
Mhm.
where it's like a wizard can do 50,000 things and a
It's-
warrior can do 30
It's like-
things in a single action.
It's like every system. It's got its pros and its cons, but
Yeah.
ground combat is not one of its pros.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, combat isn't really a Star Trek trait either.
Right.
It's not a thing you see in Star Trek episodes very often.
Yeah, but see, I wish it was faster then, because like
Yeah.
Agreed.
fights in Star Trek are a lot faster.
Yeah. You
Although-
walk up and you do the Kirk hammer and they go down. That's how combat works.
Right.
Right.
Which is why I changed the damage to be for every 5 instead of 5 and over. But these Klingons have 4 wounds, which normally is not the case. Normally you only get 2.
Yeah, that-
Stupid cheating
I
Klingons.
feel like that's not a great rule because it does make combat take way longer.
It does, but you could think about how many rounds we went through, and it was still faster than a D&D combat by far.
That is true. That is very true.
I mean, that's true, but it was still basically we're fighting double the enemies.
Yes. Yes. With half as many. They only have
Yeah.
as many attacks.
But they
Yeah.
are cyborg genetically. I mean, it made sense to me.
Yeah. It's
I'm
you're-
okay with the length of the combat.
Yeah.
If
The
we
idea
played for a
was
normal 4 to 5 hour session, but since we
Right.
only got 2 hours in,
the normal the number of components is what I was going for is increasing the number of opponents without increasing the number of combatants who can attack, because that them being able to attack ends you guys way faster. Combat, even by normal rules, is very dangerous in this game, and if I
Yeah.
had given you 12 opponents, that would have been
we would have been done.
you'd have been done.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to survive that.
I guess I just don't see the point of doubling the combatants.
Mostly because I wanted to make the I wanted to get exactly what I got out of the combat in the hand-to-hand with Ambrose, which would not have happened under the normal rules. Like it really couldn't have. That combat would have been over.
Yeah, because I would have whooped his ass.
Yeah, because it's really whoever goes first wins.
Bitch ass
In
coward
this game.
Morjod.
The difficulty to hit and do damage is not very high. It's very easy to end somebody if you go first. And I wanted the struggle. I wanted that back and forth struggle between whoever was going on with.
No, honestly, it was
Warzone.
great. I really enjoyed that personally. I really enjoyed my fight with Morjod, except when he left.
Right.
Calls himself Klingon.
Good idea, bad idea. And you got one of those? Hand to hand with a Klingon's always a bad idea. Good idea, bad idea.
That's a great idea. I mean, objectively, not allowing Cherka to kick him in the head was a bad idea, but I wanted
Yes.
I wanted a one-on-one Marjok.
Close. I mean, you definitely beat him.
If he wasn't a bitch ass coward Klingon, I would have got him.
Anybody else have a good idea, bad idea?
Another bad idea, Tong not telling anybody about the spy equipment he found on the ship.
Rigging
how
the
that-
console to blow, but
Mhm.
it turned out okay. So
Oh, you turned the whole base to blow up, you mean?
yeah,
The console blow up, that was a good idea. That
yeah,
was a
no,
straight up a
yeah,
good
no,
idea.
the whole base.
Yeah. Like, that gave Chirka... I liked that because it gave Chirka a chance to take somebody out of the fight or do
Mhm.
damage without having to use a phaser.
Yeah.
So I liked that. I liked the getting around the... I'm not a combatant, I'm an engineer.
Right.
I like that. So,
Yeah, and I appreciate you allowing me to be creative with that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
what did you see from another player or character that you'd like to see more of in the future? I liked Dasavi's attempt at empathy. Not attempt, but empathy. It was hard to do much. We didn't get to see as much as I would like to have. Just with the situation of the how many dead people there were and all that stuff.
Defiends.
Define.
Yeah.
No. Dasavi. You.
No.
Yeah, you were when you're talking to the guy and you talk to the captain and it's like it's bad down here and it wasn't a lot. It was a very minor thing you did, but because Dasavi was talking
Oh.
to the doctor, right? And then you talk
I
to the
got you.
captain.
I was thinking capital E as in her abilities empathy. I'm like, I didn't do
Oh, no,
anything
no.
with that.
No.
I got you. All right,
No.
I'm with you.
Yes, just being human, having a human moment.
No.
It's not, even though you're not a human.
I liked Ambrose being decisive with rigging the base below and stuff. Like that's exactly the kind of thing I was hoping to see from him, and I'm glad I got it. You know, I know it was dangerous, but I like Ambrose being dangerous.
Yeah. Yep. It's that bold trait every time.
Let's get dangerous. Anybody else got one?
I did actually really like Delphine playing, head nurse and whatnot.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the setup of it all.
Yeah.
I like that she just kind of stepped in and just started to do. Didn't really.
Wait for orders.
Yeah.
She's bossy, and sometimes that works in her benefit.
Right. Yeah. No, I like it. All right. If we change one thing about the session, what would it be?
Marja disappearing.
I already
Bitches,
mentioned the
coward
thing about
Klingon.
wounds. I think that combat went longer than it probably should have.
Yeah. Anybody else? Evelyn, you got anything?
Not
Having more
really.
to do-
I'm
having more to do for
exhausted
Evelyn.
today. I might have
Yeah.
been less exhausted, but I think just circumstances are what they are.
I think combat will go faster once everybody is a little bit more familiar with what combat is. We're not going to do a lot of combat
Yeah.
anyways. Like,
Well,
they're
and I
just-
think
they're not a
that's
thing we
kind
do a
of
lot
the inherent catch-22 with Star Trek and combat is you don't get more streamlined with it until you do it more,
Yeah.
Right.
and there just isn't that much combat.
Right.
I would say I felt like that hypospray could have done more, which would have helped curtail some of that combat length.
Yeah.
Because I mean I get it, he's cybernetic, he might have some filters or he's augmented and whatnot, but I
12
mean that was
12
specifically
damage with-
designed to go
Right.
against them. And after the reroll, rolled pretty high.
Well,
12 damage after 12 damage with no resistance. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. So I was
So-
really confused why that didn't just.
It also probably should have been a medicine check rather than a security check.
Probably should have been, but
Yeah. Yeah.
meh.
Oh well.
I'm not complaining.
I would not have
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
I feel like making contact forcefully with a hypospray would still be security. I'm not
True.
making the medicine. I'm not.
right.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Well, it's-
know where to administer it. You just administer.
Assuming that it can be administered anywhere, which I'm going to assume that's part of what
That's
Dasabi
how.
was doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that would have been designed.
Right. So, but it also did damage twice. So it did the first round of damage, and then your effect, it did a second
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
So it did. It
So
actually did
Even more
18
so.
total
That's a lot
damage.
of not. Yeah. 18 knockout damage. I'm really surprised that wasn't enough to knock him out. But again, Cyborg augment. I'll take
right.
it. I still had
It all
fun.
comes back
so,
down. It all comes back down to how many wounds he had. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
would have absolutely worked on a normal Klingon. Absolutely would have worked on a normal Klingon.
yeah. Yeah.
So that's what the little when you saw in his eye the matrix thing going on, that was his body fighting off the infection, the virus or
Mhm.
whatever it is, the muted the thingy that Dasavi did. So Evelyn has closed her eyes and is now meditating to sleep.
Yes.
So that is our sign that we're
I'm
probably done
struggle
for the night.
bussing.
So on that note, we'll see you guys next week and roll credits.